Hey there, folks. This week's episode is a recording of a one-shot game that we played of Heist. Before we jump into that, though, I want to have a quick talk about an event coming up in Western Australia called Southern Hemisphere Open. It's happening on the weekend of June 1st through 3rd at the Claremont Showgrounds. It's being run by Objective Secured. It is a show of tabletop gaming in formats of wargaming, board games, RPGs, card games, all sorts of things. There's also workshops on painting and various other bits and pieces like that. Biggest part that I'm personally interested in is the RPG section, where I'm going to be there running several indie and one-shot and one-page RPG games during the 3 days. And there's also going to be a live show. It's the first live show done by Dungeons and Drongos. It's the Australian D&D 5e actual play podcast. You can find all the details about it at objectivesecured.com.au, and I'll see you there. And with that, on with the show.
Here are how many bears I know. There is a brown bear, there is a black bear, there is a koala bear, and that's it.
Polar bear.
No. Anything else technically isn't a bear.
Polar bears are bears.
Polar bear's a bear.
What about Growler?
No. A what?
A Growler.
A sun bear.
Gorilla bear.
Growler. Yeah,
That's kind of bear.
it is a kind of bear.
I don't know what
It's
you
when
mean.
a-
It's a hybrid of a grizzly bear and a polar bear.
Really?
They started. It's a fairly recent.
Like a liger.
Yeah, like a liger. Yeah.
Oh, right, like
Here's
that,
the thing.
that
Not like a liger, because they're sexually viable still. Growler.
Yeah, they are.
Show up at a club like, bitch, I'm a liger. Like, dude.
But,
Dude.
Yeah.
but yeah, ligers
Gets her.
ligers can't breed. They're
Like a mule.
yeah, like a mule and those sorts of things. They are sterile, but a growler is capable of breeding.
I like the thing where we imagine they're not sterile, they just have no game. Like, what are you,
Like
a
a
horse,
I'm a-
donkey? Like,
I'm
I'm
a-
a mule, like, psst, whatever.
I'm actually a liger. It was kind of a big deal. Whatever.
I have two
sorry.
awesome cats, a
that
lion and a
enough?
tiger.
So
Okay.
what's the deal with this game, Ryan?
Okay, so the three of you are a group of bears that have been settled in a cave within a forest for quite some time. You used to be part of a larger roaming pack, but over time the local forest ranger has managed to sort of round up and cart off and rehome good portions of your posse. Let's go with posse.
Posse.
I think it's pack. I think
Pack?
it's a pack of bears.
Pack of bears, sure. So let's go around and work out what each of our bears are. So starting with Ross,
Hey, that's my name.
rolling 3d6.
Is this the descriptor, or
Just roll 3, and then you can use each of those to pick each one.
Oh, I see.
Okay,
I think this is a little bit better than rolling each of them and sort of being locked in with each of those choices. It gives you a little bit of a chance to build up a group.
Okay, I got a 6, a 4, and a 2.
Do you want to pick your bear type first?
Yes, I do.
Because then you can sort of build from there.
Oh, this is tricky.
You can be
We can
an
go around as well.
incompetent
Danny, you want to roll your 3 as
hacker.
well? And Trev, you roll your 3 as well? We can sort of, as a group, work out what you want to do. That'll be a 6 if it's an image.
Yeah, it says Perth.
Do you want to say out loud what you're...
I got 4, 5, and 6. So,
Let's hope that's the last time you roll high numbers, because high numbers is bad.
One of those bad high numbers games.
I would like to be a sun bear.
So,
That's what my.
That's something
and
to lock
on your
in
little
and pivot
character sheet,
on.
you can lock in your
That
species
is what
of bear
my-
and knock the 5 out of your list. Out of your pile.
I got a 3, and a 2, by the way. So I'm looking at retired, panda, and driver for the 3.
A retired panda driver.
Those are the 3s, and that's not terrible to begin with.
And you got a 2 you could spice things up with.
You could be a retired panda brains. I see you as a brains.
I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
So do I want to be unhinged or incompetent?
Can I be a washed up honey badger hacker?
You sure can.
I think that works.
Alright.
Washed up honey
I'll
badger.
give those to you.
Okay.
Use
Well,
those
then
and-
that makes me a retired something. And I think we would need to clearly define the difference between washed up and retired.
One's a little bit more willing.
I think
I
retired
think
means
one's
you're
a bit more shit than the other as well. Let's just establish that up front. That
I mean, I could
better
be
than you.
I could be an unhinged honey badger brains. That doesn't really work though.
Well, the unhinged honey badger kind of works, but
Yep.
You're locked into brains with that decision.
Yep.
Mm.
I could reroll my 2. Can we reroll one dice?
Let's re-roll that one dice. If you will.
That's a 6. I got a 6, a 4, and a 6. Oh no.
Unhinged honey badger
Unhinged
face.
honey badger face. I think may actually be the
Yeah.
best combination of everything.
Well, yeah, I had that, but with a black bear. No, sun bear.
So what's your combination you're looking at?
It was an unhinged sun bear face, but that can be something different. I can be an incompetent sun bear
Thief?
hacker.
Oh, hacker. Ooh, a hacker. An incompetent sun bear hacker.
Yeah, let's do
I
that.
do actually think the combination of incompetent and hacker is probably the best out of those. Other than like incompetent driver is like visually interesting. Just backwards, sideways.
All right, lock it in.
So I am face the unhinged honey badger. I don't think honey badgers can be faces.
They're not bears either.
They're a wolverine.
I feel weird saying I'm an incompetent sun bear, but oh well.
Have you ever looked at a picture of a sun bear and thought that creature is very capable in what it does?
Considering, isn't it endangered?
Wow. Okay.
Isn't there like a
I'm
thing
pretty
at the zoo?
okay,
Like,
look-
But they
that.
they always look so sad and out of their depth.
I think they're
That
cute.
may actually be the most indicative way of determining a capability of a species. Like, are you endangered? Yep, you kind of suck then.
Well, let's face it. I'm pretty sure like 5 of the 6 things on this list are endangered, and one of them's a honey badger.
Yo, we're bad to bears.
This may be foreshadowing for today's game. Each of those species might be slightly more endangered after this.
We need names.
Yes. So let's go.
I actually still need to finish my thing. I can be retired or washed up, polar or panda, brains or driver. I am pretty fine with either brains or driver.
I think we definitely need a brains.
Yeah, I
think
think
we
we
need
need
a brains.
brains.
Okay, all right, and you're looking to me for that one. Cool. Okay, seems like a misstep, but whatever. Retired or washed up? I'm gonna go with retired. Retired for brains, and that makes me a panda.
So retired panda brains.
Retired panda brains.
That sounds like an insult.
Sounds a bit like Pando from We Bear Bears.
Top of the 2 3s on your character sheet. That's just to keep your stats are going to move up and down.
So it's on 3.
We
Oh,
start
I
on
don't
3s.
know what's happening right now.
Just so you can keep track of what your stats are.
All right, they're literally just they're the slider counters.
Yep.
So okay, this is how much criminal or bear.
Yep. Essentially, the way the mechanics work is every time you try and do something that is criminal, you roll one of your d6, and you need to roll equal to or less than what your criminal stat is. When you try to do essentially anything else, that is you being a bear. You have to roll equal to or less than your bear stat. If you pass, you do the thing.
We only need one counter, right?
No, they kind of slide.
I thought
backwards and forwards.
if your bear stat goes up, your criminal stat goes down,
Oh,
right?
That's a very clever little thing. Yes. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. Okay.
You only need one counter.
can't
Only the
be-
one.
You can't be really criminally and really bear.
No,
The more
no.
criminal you
If
get,
one-
the less bear you get.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
vice versa.
I mean, that just speaks to me on a level. I think that just makes intuitive sense. You can't be a criminal bear. Oh shit! No, Yogi.
Boo boo, my boy.
But he does like small crimes.
So, yeah.
Nothing too serious.
So we need a name. You need a name. You need a name for
I
your.
chose-
Well,
One name.
let's go around and do introductions. It's the three of you in the cave.
First of all, I think the first like binary decision we have to make is: are we going to be Mama, Papa, and Baby Bear? That is the trope that there needs to be a decision on.
We're not the same.
Yes or no?
We're not the
They're
same
not the same
species.
species. It's not gonna work.
I'm
We
not
could be
entirely
adopted.
sure that matters broadly.
We could be like adopted,
So it's 2019, man.
like brothers or siblings. We could be siblings.
It's the entire premise of We Bear Bears.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying because we just watched it last night.
I've never seen Blue Bear Bears.
It's amazing.
I hear there's bears.
I actually don't know what that is.
It's a
that's wrong.
it's a TV series about a
Oh,
polar
I
bear
do know. I
and
do.
a panda
I do.
bear
I do.
and a grizzly bear who are brothers.
They're bears.
They're bears.
We're bears.
So cute.
The three of you are in your cave. Your little hideout amongst the forest has kept you relatively safe from the rangers. You have a stash of bits and pieces that you have pilfered from local campers. And yeah, you are gathering together because the smell of honey is on the wind. Hats will be coming up. Hats is coming up.
We didn't do that.
Hats is coming up.
Okay.
Jeez.
So excited.
Jesus. Calm down, Ross. Jesus.
For it. Oh my god.
So, who is here first? And what is their name?
Where is
Just so you know, you guys can talk to each other freely. You are bears. You can communicate with each other.
Okay.
In bear language?
That's it. That's what a outsider, say, like a human, would hear is grunts and growls and small roars. And
That's my bear noise. What do you think?
It's
good.
pretty good.
Yeah, cool.
right at the part where you started laughing.
Well, bears are funny.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess I can start.
Yep.
Because I got a name. I am Brenda. I am an incompetent sun bear, the hacker of operation.
How did you find yourself way into being a hacker?
I don't know.
Think about it in bear terms.
That's
you
pretty
have
incompetent.
paws and claws. I think hacking is a little less, hacking the Gibson and so forth. More literally tearing the front panels off the stereo.
We're talking more in the Zoolander realm of hacking
The
computers.
files are inside the computer.
Oh, the thing is, I don't have fingers, so I can't really use
Yeah,
a keyboard.
think about that. Think
So,
bear hacking.
Generally, well, I guess it depends on the operation, on what's happening, what I'm trying to hack into. What am I, Julian Assange-ing?
I that's probably slightly more relevant these days.
Sorry.
Being carried out by all your limbs looking rather rough.
Well, I'm fairly incompetent, so
I get the image that you've copped the odd electrical shock because you've torn into the side of like campers' electrical panels and so forth because you heard a buzz thinking it was bees, thinking there might have been honey there, and you've torn open. You've gotten the odd shock and maybe a little frazzled over time. Just a few too many shocks over time.
yeah, sounds about right.
I mean, it makes sense that a sun bear computer hacker would be incompetent at that thing.
So we have Brenda,
Brenda, yes,
Brenda
yes.
in the room.
Felt that was appropriate name.
Couple of some of the areas of the hair sort of standing on end. You can see a little singe mark around one
A
paw
couple
from
of patches.
little patches are a little bit burnt out. You can see there's like a little scorch mark and the hair's been burnt back.
My name is Percival. I'm a honey badger. I sort of blew up on the internet memes a while back there. got a little caught up in the fame and the image of it all. I had a bit of a coke problem. But I'm on the straight and narrow now, and now we're getting it together. Gonna get my life back on the straight and narrow.
And how'd you find yourself amongst these bears?
Craigslist.
Okay. And the third bear rumbling into the room.
I actually don't know now. I thought I had something, but no, maybe not. Maybe not.
Honey Badger not giving a shit about anything. He's had.
Yeah, I really had to play up against that. You will find my name is Dr. Hibbins. Dr. Hibbins, PhD.
Doctor what?
Dr. Hibbins.
Oh.
Dr. Hibbins, PhD. So I ate a guy. I ate a guy. And apparently we exist in one of those universes where if you eat someone, you gain a little bit of their knowledge and personality. So I'm a bear that ate a retired sociologist.
Is that where the PhD comes from?
Yeah.
and during
The
during,
transitive properties of eating somebody, you inherited their PhD.
If someone consumes a bunch of knowledge, they become a PhD. So therefore, if you consume them, you become their
Part
PhD.
human doctor.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, at some point during the mauling, like his university ID badge came off and landed on my fur. So at that point afterwards, it was just Dr. Hibbins, PhD. I'm gonna get that voice up.
Okay, so
I'm gonna need a lozenge at the end of this for my bear growl.
you guys are meeting up because you have the smell of honey is strong in the air. It's been a while since you've had like this level of aroma in the valley. It's heading into late spring. A lot of the flowers and everything have been blooming for some time. The beehives around the area have been quite busy. But this smells like the mother lode.
Oh yes, honey, honey.
And
Did you know that in ancient Egypt, honey was used as a curative for many different diseases,
and a preservative.
and indeed a preservative as well?
Dr. Hibbins, is it?
Yes, indeed.
You, on your way in, found this blowing past the cave. There's a flyer,
Oh yes, yes
and
indeed.
since you're probably the one with the most learned, you might even be able to make out some of those squiggly marks on there, and possibly make out some of the language.
Having eaten a man that could definitely write English, I can absolutely read this. Yes.
I'm sorry, because it's my writing, so whether you can read it is up in the air.
Yes. Best honey contest, it says. Brenda and Percival. This right here, if you see right here, honeycon, 19 indeed. Samples for free, no bears.
No bears.
At Sweet Combs Wilderness Retreat. Be there, it says. Quite humorously. Be, it says, with two E's, indicating the animal, as well as that we should be there.
I'm sure when they said no bears, they probably didn't mean no celebrity honey badgers though. So I'm probably gonna be fine. I'll just like direct them to my Instagram, and I'll probably like that. I might be able to get some of that sweet honey.
If that's going to be that sexual the entire way through, I'm actually not going to be okay with that.
I've got some earplugs.
I'll try and gear it back. I didn't really mean for it to get into that sexier place.
Well, honey has that way with bears. Even honey badgers. 'Cause
It's all in the name.
Yeah. I want to be there. I want some honey. My honey senses are tingling.
Oh, honey.
Oh, honey.
Yes. For those, well, you're all three of you are quite aware of Sweetcomb's Wilderness Retreat. It has been abandoned in the valley for some time. You and your crew back in the day when there was a good couple dozen of you, kind of ran this valley. And yeah, the wilderness retreat didn't really sort of survive having bears coming through every couple of days, stealing all the honey, food, hats.
I used to have a really nice hat. I miss it.
It has been Sweet Combs has remained abandoned for about 10 years at this point. It's been quite run down, overgrown. A lot of the old log cabin chateaus have sort of fallen into a bit of disrepair. So, seeing that some sort of gathering of human folk at Sweet Combs featuring honey seems, well, easy pickings.
An idea occurs.
Do go on.
It seems to me that we do find ourselves somewhat short of honey.
I check my pockets that I sometimes have in my fur, and I find no honey.
Nope.
You gotta come on, man. Play it out. You gotta turn them inside out. Pockets out of literally nowhere. Turn them inside out. A moth flies out.
Swat at the moth.
Nope. No honey.
This honey badge is rapidly going into Bruce Wayne.
Lean into it. I would posit that between us, the humans would indeed be no match.
Or we could just, if we can't get the honey, we could just kill all the humans as well. Just eat them.
Or we could like pretend to be a human, dress up like a human, and get all the honey. You know.
Yeah, and maybe they'll have some cocaine.
I don't know about that.
So we've swung away from Batman into like Nick Cave. Now. Okay.
I
love it.
established that at the beginning.
Fame went to his head, and then so did cocaine.
Yeah.
We need a plan.
It's getting very Batman very fast.
Well, all right.
I'm good.
That's what bears do.
Indeed, Brenda does make a good point that it does specifically say in the invitation, no bears. One would posit from this that bears are to be expected and guarded against. So perhaps, if we were to dull down our bearitude.
Down to the bare necessities.
Yeah, let's pretend that is the joke that I did, because that is in fact far funnier. The question then becomes, how to be human?
Oh no, you were an anthropologist.
I was a sociologist, an anthropologist, and an archaeologist. I may have also been involved in the Stargate project at some point. I've been watching Stargate recently, so I may have to bring that up every now and then. That's cool, right?
Yeah, no, I get
Cool.
it.
I'm a bear Daniel Jackson.
I've never seen Stargate.
Are you serious?
The movie or these half dozen different
I
series,
didn't know there was a movie.
including the one that has Jason Momoa in it.
I think I've seen like clips.
Oh,
Right, well, put that on your
literal
list.
God.
That's one of them like binges that is just it's all good.
I think I've seen some of it, but I don't know who it was in it. Some some guy was like aging rapidly and there was like beautiful women around. I don't know.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yes, that was season 1 of Stargate SG-1, where Jack finds himself on a planet where a Goa'uld infects the local populace with a genetic disorder that aged them rapidly to investigate and explore Darwin's theory of evolution. Fucking, that was a good one.
Yeah,
Can you link in the comments of this? I'll link to our other podcast where we just like go on about fucking pop culture references.
Can we
And then we'll record that.
Can we just do another podcast where we just watch each episode of Stargate SG-1 and then talk about it afterwards, and that's an episode, and then we just do that?
That's like 6 years of podcasts just like set out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
What are you busy?
I mean, there's already at least a dozen podcasts that are exactly that, but it'll be fine. We'll be cool. One
It'd
of
be
us.
funny because we have Australian accents. Sorry.
That is actually enough for the internet. Yeah, that's really takes the pressure off as well.
Look at these people that don't exist because of flat Earth theory.
Yeah, we don't exist.
Talking about Stargate,
We aren't
which definitely
real.
does exist.
We aren't real.
Anyway,
What are we doing? Do you
So,
wanna get busy?
So, do we flash forward to, okay, we're coming up with a plan to disguise ourselves as humans,
I think we
and then we're all just wearing hats?
I was thinking, yeah, is
So,
that
like,
is that
smash
what the,
cut?
Is that what the hats like? Is that going to be enough? I thought it'd be enough disguise.
Yeah.
Humans can't tell.
That's good. I like that. I like
Yeah.
In my experience with internet memes, when animals wear hats, humans stop thinking logically.
it's true. They put hat on a snake, and apparently that snake stops being terrifying and starts becoming cute.
Starts
Oh, it's
becoming snack.
beautiful.
Goes snack.
Is
Snack.
snack or danger noodle?
Danger noodle.
Yes. So you guys start considering the options of disguises, and feeling around your cave for different various supplies, you come across your pile of hats.
Yes.
And start. I've only got 2d8, sorry. So, roll up for hats. You'll get a roll.
I got a trilby.
Oh, I got a trilby as well.
Let's both re-roll.
Well,
Oh,
that's-
okay.
that's
I don't
so
want to
you-
play this game anymore. If you guys are walking around in fucking trophies, I don't want to be associated with this, to be honest.
No, we both got the same thing. That means we have to roll again,
Yeah.
right? Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. Is it because neither of you actually want to wear a trilby?
I got a fez.
So you're a honey badger and a fez? That's
I don't-
adorable.
I don't give a fuck.
I got a fez as well.
Stop copying me.
A cowboy hat.
A sun bear and a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
That's a fucking fez. Oh god, you got sticky dice. That's a trilby. I swear
thought it
to
was-
God,
so
this is
seven.
not intentional. Okay, all right, here we go.
This one.
Get the
Here we go.
crown.
This
Get
one's
the
for all the
crown.
money.
Give me a crown.
Get the
Oh boy, give me crown.
Get the crown.
Roll
Roll
twice.
twice.
You get so you two pick through and you fight over the trilby at first, and in the process you tear the thing in half, and then like, and then sort of go back to the pile. Brenda pulls out a large, like a 10-gallon
Cowboy hat.
cowboy hat. We're talking one of the big fuck off ones, like
Yeehaw!
massive bucket on it.
One that
It's-
would
yeah.
give Dolly Parton a lot of shade.
Yeah, exactly right. And you, yes. Just roll with it. Yes,
yeah.
and.
Yeah. Got it.
What did you end up with? A fez.
Fez.
You sort of go through and you think you found essentially like a bucket style hat as well, and it's literally basically a red bucket made of felt. Fez.
Is that a little tassel thingy?
And Professor Dr. Hibbins
Dr. Heaven's PhD. Okay.
sort of purveys this whole scenario and takes his time and reaches in and grabs with 2 claws and pulls out and roll twice. You
Okay.
pull out 2 hats. So you've got a cowboy hat. It's a smaller version. We're talking like it's more. It looks a little bit more like a kid's like Halloween costume hat. It's a little bit small, but and the other hat.
A fez. No.
That,
Wow.
you
Swear to
have
God.
cowboy hat and a trilby.
We
'Cause
tried
we could
so
do
hard
this
to avoid
for
this
so long.
situation.
We can't keep on rolling for hat.
Said 7.
I think a panda and a trilby would look rather smart.
Questioning the balance of your dice, but let's carry on. Okay.
So you spend the next sort of 20 minutes, and we're doing sort of 80s montage.
What women do and they don't regret it.
You go into one side of the cave, come back out, the hat's on, and you're like, huh? And then
What does a bear laughing sound like?
So we're just going with Tim the Toolman Taylor. Okay, I just want to be sure of that.
What a lady bear laugh like?
That's awful.
That hurts my throat.
okay. You guys are familiar with Sweetcomb's Wilderness Retreat. You have been there several times before. You have gone through there several times in the last few years, trying to see if anyone's come back and left any sweet smackerels of honey. You just let me roll with the Winnie the Pooh reference.
Just a smackerel.
No, I didn't know how much I was missing not hearing you say that word. In the time I've known you, I've heard you say that once, and I didn't think that was missing from my life. If you need to quantify the amount of anything from here on out, it's going to have to be a smackerel.
A smackerel.
I like
So,
the Winnie the Pooh references.
From your memories, the whole retreat is set right into the forest. There are trees right up to the edge of the log cabin chateaus. There are 3 of them down each side, nearest to the fences. There is a fence line around the side. They put up to try and keep bears out. Didn't really keep bears out. Not all that successfully, at least. There is sort of a larger hall in the middle section, which is usually done for like what they used to use for like functions and so forth. There was also a large open air sort of stage, just more like a band shell sort of setup, just a roof over the top of a slightly raised area, and either side of that there were a couple of spaces for, well, whatever the stage was needed for. That's what you know of.
All right, I got an idea. We go through the gate, and we use our giant bear claws to kill any humans between us and the honey. And then we take the honey. And then we eat the honey.
I must say that my largest issue with this suggestion is that you didn't refer to them as your bare hands, which I find would be much more humorous. Other than that, yes, let's absolutely kill all of the humans.
Sort of a thought sort of dawns on a few of you almost at once that there's only 3 of you.
Yeah, there's a lot of humans. I think there's going to be a lot more humans.
There's a good chance there's going to be more than 3 humans.
Yeah. We have these hats. So I'm pretty sure that the humans will just think there were other humans. So we can just get all the honey. Pretending we're humans.
Normally I'm not sure that I would agree, but in fact I am wearing 2 hats. So
This is like
I
one prop on each ear.
I would in fact think that I am twice as human looking.
I like
as
the
anyone
idea
else.
that you switch between them as you're changing moods.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Okay.
You have to wear the trilby when you're saying, well, actually.
Oh,
For,
massively redefining of the character, and I love it.
for you gotta put the trilby on for all the times that you're bear-splaining.
Bear-splaining.
Yeah, okay. Brendan, I apologize up front for being like really fucking dismissive of everything you're about to say. But as a woman, well actually.
Oh no! Oh no!
Damn!
Yeah, you should have brought that one on yourself.
Yeah, I did bring that on myself. Okay. Well, I did come up with the ideas to, we're totally fitting in with the humans. So, anyway.
So, it is early evening at this point. If you want to stake out the place or do a night incursion, that is an option. Or if you want to try and get there when there's possibly more people, but potentially more honey, tomorrow, when HoneyCon is in full swing.
I think it would be best to slip in and slip out in amongst the humans that we're so cunningly disguised as.
I agree.
And also more that we can potentially murder later with these bare hands.
I do thank you for taking a note. Thank you for taking that suggestion on board.
My special skill as a honey badger is carnage,
Yes, I figured you were leading on that.
and I'm also unhinged.
You know what? I didn't look too closely into that because mine is eat anything that looks like bamboo, which doesn't really seem like anything.
And also, you have no sex drive.
Oh, damn.
Okay, we're just like trying to play a game right now. And you're gonna be like a giant bitch about it, like, I don't know.
Hey,
He's
Trev.
wearing the trilby again.
Just trying some fucking fun.
Trev, pandas can't get laid.
Damn.
He was
All right.
wearing the trilby. I had to get him back.
Pandas go on the Ricky Lake show, and they're like, Ricky, I can't get laid.
I can't get laid.
It is sad. It is really sad.
Wait,
though.
is Ricky Lake still a thing?
I don't think it is.
I don't.
Or is that a reference that only us
probably
around the table are
dead.
going to get?
I think it's 2 levels of reference that no one's gonna get. Yeah.
Okay.
Apparently, the sheet here tells me I am a goddamn bear.
You are a goddamn bear.
We have a complex plan that requires precise timing, so I think we should jump to in media res while we are executing this complex plan that we have concocted.
Because there is a mechanic for flashbacks to give you an opportunity to balance yourself back out in case you're going a little bit too bear or criminal.
Too bad.
Okay, really? Okay. Okay.
Because just to explain the mechanics, when you make a roll, if you succeed, the thing happens. There's not a lot of stats going on. You go, I want to do this thing, roll a dice. You either do that thing
That
or you
thing
don't.
happens.
If you fail and you're doing a bear thing, you get frustrated, you go up a point in bear. Because you're getting frustrated, your bear rage is building up, and so on and so forth. Which means next checks you do with bear are going to be a little bit easier. But if either of the stats, either bear or criminal, reach 6, you're done.
You lose. Good
You-
day,
you
sir.
either rage out
I
into
said good day, sir.
you rage out in your purest nature of bear, or you become so criminal you just sort of slink off into the darkness and make a break for it.
Okay, okay.
So it's
I
a
get
balancing
this
act
game
of
now.
numbers.
Yeah,
in this.
yeah. All right.
So, what is your plan? Daytime, nighttime?
I think in the daytime, and I will talk my way past the guards using my inherent celebrity charisma and create a diversion for the rest of you to slip in undetected.
Indeed. I believe that of a convention like this, there may in fact be a large number of retirees in attendance. You can see on the east side of the compound, there are many, in fact, deck chairs set up, many camper vans, the Grey Nomads, I believe they are called. And in my dashing human attire, I can in fact blend in with them quite easily. Get to the scope of the place, in fact, from them, if you can get us in undetected.
I don't know if they have any complicated human security systems that may impede us getting back out with all the honey, but maybe Brenda, our master hacker, will be able to disable the complicated human security systems.
Yeah, done. I can do it. Yeah, I'll do it.
All right.
Just very blind confidence. Yeah.
Okay.
And with my very good honey senses, I will know exactly where the most honey is.
Yes.
So, yes.
Because that's your honey. The sun bear thing is sense honey. Yes.
Oh no! If as long as I'm not defeated by the crippling addiction of needing to eat things a little bit, I'm gonna need some help on how to bring that into the game. Am I like?
If you see any bamboo, just fucking just demolish that shit.
Okay, because I had a couple of beers, and what I'm bringing to this is I'm gonna suck some dick. I don't want to have to do that. I'm just gonna do that.
I need some honey, man. I'll make you feel good.
Yeah, you could help in the long run. Whatever we gotta do to get honey.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so you guys rest up for the night in sort of this big pile of bear,
And badger.
dreaming of the heist to come. Morning breaks. You can hear the sound of chirping woodland birds on the outside of your cave. I thought you were going to do some. Oh, you got a soundboard, something ready to go.
Yeah, you want to throw in the cue of geez, what is it? Bach's Morning Rises.
I'm looking for a picture of a honey badger for inspiration.
Oh, okay. Think a regular badger on meth. That's the one. See?
Jesus.
The carnage.
And that was the family portrait version where there was all like nicely groomed, nice
Smile
big
for the
smile.
camera,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you just sort of got the fresh, cool morning air coming through. Like I said, it's coming towards the end of spring. You're thinking about you need to get that one big score before it's hibernation time. You get the sugars up, get that hibernation blubber going.
Oh,
First you get the honey,
And
then you get the
the
women.
Then you get
I'm-
to sleep.
I'm sorry, but this is in fact my last job. This is my last score. If we can put this one away, I am out of the game. I am in fact taking my share of the honey, and I am off to Zawataneo.
Okay.
Motherfucker stole my bit.
Oh.
Fucking retired is my descriptor, buddy. I'm sorry, but I've got dibs on it.
All right, Grandpa. Whatever.
If you can,
This is the the aging boomer versus the millennial YouTube star.
if you can find a rock under a tree, you can come and join me.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, get up into the crisp morning air and basically lumber your way to the outskirts, the forest land around Sweet Combs Wilderness Retreat.
Sweet Combs is a good name.
Did you want to get?
How much of this is you? Because this is adorable, by the way. This is adorable.
That's all me.
Yeah, I loved it.
Actually, That part there is one of the rollable parts. Everything else is my own.
Okay, I'm sectioning this off as like I didn't know what that was, and so
Yeah,
didn't
I
say
give it
that
a-
out. Here's information that you don't have. See Lincoln's Himes.
That's it.
This
Abraham.
says-
I even drew it.
And like you got like the little like the mole as well. I
Yep.
am dead impressed.
He was really impressed with that.
I drew that last time. Just sitting on the couch like.
That's a good
So
Lincoln.
happy with yourself. Yeah.
I should have coloured in
But
the
you
hat.
don't know this, right?
Keeping it on the
Because-
DL.
Dr. Hibbins' PhD is like I don't know what that is. He doesn't know what that is. Didn't come up in his sociology degree.
It's the cocaine.
Do you like my bear voice?
I like your bear voice. I know we're giving you crap before, but it was just,
It's great. You might need a Bundamentho afterwards.
Yeah, no, it already hurts. That's why I'm leaning
this
on
is
the
the
water.
pain he goes through for
I
his
can't.
craft.
I can't do voices that aren't
Um,
really ochre, so I'm not trying.
That was the thing I really got out of when the McElroys did it, is that like Travis was running the game, Griffin and Clint were like just doing their voices, and Justin was the whole time, he was like the grizzly muscle, and just the whole time he was like, yeah, I'm a bear.
I've got to listen to that. I should have just pledged during the drive.
It's pretty much the only thing I pay for in that whole regard. Well, I get Netflix and everything, but yeah, like that's one of those ones where I actually feel like it's not like a faceless whatever that does it. It's like those it goes to those actual people, and
Yeah.
I give a shit about those actual people. So these one-shot games are fun.
I really enjoy it. I do want to do a Fiasco again at some point. I really enjoyed Fiasco.
Yeah, that was good. Fiasco. Also, this is inadvertently the why voice that I don't do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, good to bring it out of the cupboard every now and then.
I like the little like the snarky condescension that you get in YU already. I don't know that you need to put it on too much thicker. It's just
See, this is I think it works better in my head because there's the voice attached, and it's not quite as shitty when you have like a fat flubby dude doing it through his nose. It's like in a Mr. Belvedere way. It's almost charming. When it's just me, like, you're an idiot. That's a shit plan. Like, fucking dude, like, chill out. It's like, that is a fucking shit idea. You're an idiot, my boy.
It's just been very hard to keep that going.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Okay, you guys have made your way down to the sort of outer regions of the wilderness retreat. Let me know what side you want to come in from. So you know this little marker here is the sort of front gates. And
I will be approaching from the front gates.
All right.
As the face of the operation, I'm gonna talk my way in, and while I'm doing that, y'all can fucking mount a jump over the fence or something.
I thought we were gonna slip in just behind you.
Yeah, we are coming up right behind you, my friend.
We're wearing hats.
Wearing hats.
You're convincing them of our humanness, which isn't really even that hard considering our hat wearing.
Okay, you guys start making your way forward with I forgot what your name was. Percival.
Percival.
Taking the point.
This is where we're going to find out this game is hard and this is a shit plan. Like, roll some dice. No, you failed. That was ridiculous.
Animal control
you guys
comes
are-
out
yeah.
with tranquilizer darts.
You guys are bears wearing hats, you idiot.
What
do you
the
think was
fuck
gonna
did you
happen?
think would happen?
How much do you think? How challenging do you think? I've got one page to work with here, guys. One page, and it's all.
And all it
randomized.
says is, fuck them.
No, but.
This is not a game for fun. This is a game. This is a game of life, fuckers.
This is a game to train us people against, like, bear attacks.
What do you do when you see a bear? Don't curl up in a ball. The fucking bear will kill you.
Yes.
Yes. I actually don't know. I don't
If
know.
it's a panda, it may suck your dick.
I gotta tell you right now, Percival, he don't give a fuck.
I wish I could do the honey badger voice. I'd just do like the narrate the whole thing going on. But no, I can't do it. Anyway, as you approach, you see that either side of the at the front gates there's two like heavy old tree trunks that have been like stripped of all their side branches, and then sort of replanted into the ground either side of the gates. And then about 20 feet up, there is a cross beam going across, and in that is carved the name of the camp, which Dr. Hibbins can sort of just make out. The other two of you, it's some sort of incomprehensible human scrolling. The one thing that
I only know how to read things when they're in like white text underneath a picture of another thing.
with a white bar steadily turning red. One thing that does...
That was a deep pull. I enjoyed that one. Thank you.
One thing that the two of you do notice is in the center of that incomprehensible scroll is a picture of honeycomb. Just carved into the timbers. You see those hexagonal shapes. And I don't know how they've done it, but it looks like some sort of like tree sap or something like that. It looks like dripping honey coming off the comb, just inside the main arch of that.
No, Percival, keep it together. All the honey.
Yeah, my honey senses are tingling.
If you are doing honey senses, you can roll for that if you like.
Oh.
Here, normally if you are rolling a skill check, you roll a single dice and try to roll under the number. If you are doing something that is either one of your bear skills or your roll, you roll 2 dice and pick the lowest.
So you get to roll 2 dice when you're trying to eat some fucking bamboo or some shit.
Or I damn.
I got 2 5s.
Okay, you sort of like sit there as like you're looking up there and there's like a little bit of saliva build up in your mouth. It's like dripping down one side. And you just start sniffing at the air, and there is just that waft of honey all over the place. It is just it's overwhelming your senses to the point where like you're stuck in that like tunnel vision. Like your entire senses is consumed by your sense of smell. It's just like the next thing you know, you've just got like a puddle of drool at your feet as you're just sitting there just drooling away. You're you shift your little marker 1 point towards bear.
Brenda, I know that as a woman you are ruled by your biology and aren't as thinking on high levels as us male bears. But if you can just keep that in, Tipstroby, just keep that in for just a moment. We'll be inside, and your natural instincts will be said. I am real sorry, by the way. I am.
I know.
Sarcasm.
I know.
While you were out sniffing for honey, he was learning the bamboo.
Well.
And now that you need the honey, you come
it
to
was
me.
drool, okay? I can't control myself around the honey, okay? I can't. My mouth is actually drooling a little bit.
Just to give all the honey?
Yeah. I want to eat some honey.
Okay.
Just a smackerel.
Just the smackerel. At each of these large posts that are holding up the sign, there is a human. So standing there, there's a few.
I've seen humans before.
They are standing there, and every now and then there's another small group of humans come along, and then they stop, talk to one of these people, and they hand over these small bits of paper, and then the gate humans let them through. This is getting a little bit like that Weird Planet thing where you describe simple things of handing over a ticket for a show in weird terms.
I do like that. That is your
Nathan Pfeiffer, what is it?
Indeed. I have seen this. I have seen this behavior before amongst the humans. It is part of their rituals to exchange between them pictures of their dead presidents in exchange for goods and services. And indeed, thinking back, I do believe that in the brochure there was a picture of one of their Lincoln. Yes, indeed, one of their presidents, Lincoln. So I believe that in order for us to get past this checkpoint, we must present them with an image of their dead president, Lincoln.
What's a Lincoln?
In character? Okay, good. Because I was about to say it's a type of car.
What's a battle?
How are we gonna get one of these Lincolns? Should we just murder some of these humans outside and take all their Lincolns?
I think that's a good idea.
I honestly believe that may actually be the way of approaching this problem. There has been nothing to indicate that we shouldn't or can't just fucking murder people, and I'm a bear.
It
all
does
right?
say
I am a bear.
You are a goddamn bear. So
yeah, like you have like carnage as one of your things, but none of us have like not carnage as any of
Yeah.
ours. So
You guys hear this sort of sound of like, it sounds like a low rumbling coming from off to the right hand side, and then it sort of stops, and you just hear these like three sort of sounds. It's like, and then you just hear these footsteps running along, and it's just like, and a small shrill voice is like, "Mommy, it's the honey convention!" Yeah.
Oh
There's this
my
little
God.
kid running forward. You see this little girl with this pink dress, it's like almost like a little fairy dress, like out the side, hair up in pigtails, just like running along. She's got a little pot that is made up to look like Winnie the Pooh's honey pot, even with the misspelt honey, Hunny, like running along. She's running towards the front, and behind her are two larger humans that are walking on. They've got a basket that they're holding on between them as this little girl sort of runs along ahead up towards towards the front gates.
How dare you?
What?
Percival charges. The three of them.
Just so you know, the little girl is a lot further forward than the larger.
The smaller one seems easier to take down. Percival charges.
Oh dear! Oh no! Okay.
And bear. How big is a honey badger? Honey badgers aren't that big, right?
I think they're like 4 or 5 feet long. The tops. They're just a larger Wolverine with fucking more ill-tempered.
I will throw out mid-charge. My friend, the smaller ones are the children of the larger ones and are quite well protected. In the off chance that may be.
Okay.
Does anything? Okay.
Roll carnage.
Okay. I roll twice.
You roll 2d6. Yep. Take your lowest.
I got a 2.
You got a 2. All right.
So does this move?
No, you succeeded.
Okay.
Yeah.
Succeeded.
So describe your success.
Okay. I'm picturing he like honey badger lands in front of the terrified child, baring teeth, and then like up on its haunches, and then the parents catch up, and then he just launches himself at the largest target in a flurry of claws and teeth.
All right.
At the human male.
At the human male. You sort of lunge.
I'm a honey badger. Are you familiar with honey badgers?
I am now.
And the levels of amounts of shits they give.
No shits.
Low to none.
You launch yourself like all 4 clawed limbs towards this human, and it pulls that woven basket up in front to protect itself, and your claws just basically like rend through the base of it. There's like the shattering of wicker goes all over the place. The guy drops the basket. It just shatters on the floor, and they bail back towards their large motorized bear.
Some kind of land bear.
Ironically, I do believe that was a Lincoln Continental.
You just hear like the sounds of like screams over there as the doors slam and they take off in reverse.
Wait, I didn't kill the large human male.
You have laid massive carnage to their picnic basket, which had also included his wallet. So on the ground, basically, like
he's like
there is a
nudging the picnic basket with his nose, and eventually comes out with the wallet in his mouth.
Yep. This is just like a leather folded wallet, and you can see there's a couple of like these green notes poking out the side of it. There was a couple of like sandwiches sort of scattered across the ground as well.
I stole his picnic basket.
I wanted to put a picnic basket in there pretty straight up. Hey, woo woo,
My boy.
Yeah, you sort of trot over with this air of success on your face, and the proof of success in your mouth.
Did you bring me a sandwich?
Lincoln's.
Okay.
Do allow me.
It's all about the Lincolns, baby.
Excellent. Excellent job in attacking that very ferocious group of very, very dangerous family. We just root around and say, oh dear. Unfortunately, I find that they do not have any of the small pieces of paper because it's fucking 2019 and no one carries cash anymore. Unfortunately, I find that they do in fact have one of these atom cards. I do believe they're called. It's an atom card that can be used against computer devices.
Oh, I know about these because I'm a hacker. Yes, that can get us in and get the honey.
Atom card.
Oh god, this is gonna be a thing of three bears trying to maneuver paying for a thing at a kiosk.
Why didn't we just jump over the?
You're trying to make this about murdering people. I'm trying to make it about bears participating in society
and commerce. This is end stage capitalism. The bears take over.
You have a rage inside of you. I have the same rage, but it's directed towards capitalism. That's what I want
And
to take
bamboo.
down. And also bamboo.
Aren't I supposed to move one towards criminal now because that went off successfully?
I thought that was if you fail.
When a plane goes
Yes.
off without a hitch, move
Yes.
at one point from
Yes,
there.
it is.
into
Sorry,
criminal.
yes. My bad. That's going to be in flux a lot. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So regardless of what happens,
Every roll.
whether it's if you're doing something criminal or doing something bear, if you succeed, you become more criminal, and if you fail, you become more bear. Okay. All right, I'm into it.
This game's fun. I have like one page of notes I wrote just for things I wanted to get done. That's it. This is great because there's
Just
no fucking prep time.
comparatively easy. None of that. Like, okay, so you're in Rome, but not Rome. And we're all like, yeah, that's great. We're gonna rob the fucking stable, and we don't care about your world, dude. That you spent like 2 weeks of late nights setting up this beautiful world. We're just gonna ruin our own shit. Thank you.
It's a thing. Like, we're bears. Bears having to interact with the human world. They only have a couple of plays.
This is I swear this guy's basically read that green text fucking thing about Sir Barrington and went, I can make a game out of this.
Yeah.
This could actually just be a game. Okay. So you have a folded piece of leather with a series of pieces of plastic and no Lincoln papers.
They said that there were a couple in there.
Oh, he found some atom cards.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Yeah, I think there was gonna be, but I retconned that out just for the giggles.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, I fucked this on that one, guy.
It's alright.
It's only because it was fun and it'll get the hacking in.
Okay. So we're gonna use these atom cards to get in.
One of them is a dinner card. One of those a Munkenspres.
What was it? Sorry, that last one?
Merkenspres.
Manhattan. Sorry.
I got a mouthful of teeth, alright? I'm amazed that I can speak English this well.
I mean, I'm just thankful that you didn't go with like a racist Chinese accent for your panda.
Oh yeah, same.
Wow, you know what?
Yep.
It's lucky that I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Because that idea would have stuck and would have really upset everyone.
Yeah.
All right. So we go up to the gate, and you use your hacking expertise to use the atom cards to get us. All right.
I just realized what atom means.
Thank you.
Alright, yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
I still might need your internet famous charisma,
Follow my lead.
and then I'll come in with the card and the machine and get us in.
Okay. So, you're approaching first off?
Yes.
All right. Describe. You've basically got these two people that they're dressed up. They're both wearing these like foam hats of like it looks like a beehive. Including like the little hole in the front. It's just like it's like a foam hat to look like a beehive.
They get hats too?
They're okay.
Upgrading
They are the-
hats is on my list of to-do things now. Okay, kill
They
the
are
guy
two
taking his
people
fucking
working
hat.
the door at Honeycon. They are in uniform.
Percival strides up, bear-like, to the one of the guards. He tips his fez to the thing to the guard. Says,
Hello. Greetings. We have come to visit your Honeycon. I believe we need to purchase pieces of paper to get through to the Honeycon. My associates and I are wearing elaborate bear costumes. But you can see our fanciful hats that are making a jolly game of things.
Okay. To pan the camera from another angle halfway through that speech, you have this honey badger sort of propped up on its back legs, like front paws was like, and it's got this little red felt fez on its head. At one point, it sort of like grips a couple of claws into it, and like pops up and does, and he's doing this whole thing of like.
You know what we didn't establish in universe? That we could speak English.
Yeah.
it says you can sort of mangle human speech through your bear mouth, maybe.
I'm leaning
There's a
on-
lot of leeway on that one, buddy.
I am leaning on the maybe. And you just again from this third-person camera angle, you see one guard sort of like looking down at the sort of look across to the other one, and the other one's just like shrugs slightly.
We're the
You may
entertainment.
know me from my internet memes.
And then he sort of like turns his head to the side and just smiles and bares teeth.
The guard on your right has like pulled this like thing out of their pocket. It's like tapping away at the screen, and then just like turns it around to the other one. Is like points at it as like and points towards you. And puts it back in the pocket. You don't see the front, but it's just like the other one's like. At this point, I think Brenda steps forward.
So I just want to take a minute to establish that was in fact a bare-faced lie. Thank you. We can move on. That's okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
We did it. All right, close it down.
Woo! Yeah. It actually says step 6. If you do that dumb joke, everyone gets pizza and goes.
Oh yes, please. And honey.
Honey pizza.
Honey on pizza. Isn't that a thing somewhere?
If you
in the
cast
States?
around far enough, you would literally find that.
I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's a thing in the States. Okay, so I have my this atom card.
Yep, you got this sort of tucked between two
Claws.
claws.
I don't know what. Yeah.
Uh,
Digits.
digits.
Not
Yeah, we'll go
really.
with digits.
Clawed digits.
and you sort of like plod forwards. Like, actually, you describe how you're doing this
Oh.
rather than me
I
telling you
think
what you do.
It's a plot. It's more of a shuffle
Okay.
with the sun bear. Cause yeah, I shuffle forward and tip my hat. Howdy, ma'am. Howdy, ma'am. And pass it over to this person with their amazing honeycomb hat with a big sun
I'm
bear
gonna make you
grin.
roll hacking on this. 'Cause this is using an electronic device.
Can I? Is it going to fuck this up? If can we establish up front that depending on the output of the roll, if she does well, it's an American Express black card. If she does poorly, it's a Diners Club. And it's just like, no, we don't take that here.
Sorry, we don't take Discover.
And is it? Have they got PayPass?
Amex, go away.
Oh, fuck.
Not even like I think you're a bad. Just like, what are you, poor? Get out.
2.
All right, so you rolled
Yes.
under.
So am I in? We in?
American Express black card.
Okay, you sort of like wave this card in front, and the gate person grabs it and like inserts it into the bottom, then holds this device out to you. You can see it's just like this glowing screen on the front and a series of like these lit up symbols below.
We're standing behind you like.
This is where I'm rolling a hack roll in, which is successful, and you sort of just stop there for a moment and go, put one paw out like this, and with the other paw, bash wildly at the keypad, which then just sort of makes this sickly, horrible beep sound. As the machine sort of like the front fascia sort of just like cracks and falls away, and the little ticket sort of just like meekly peeks out of the top, and then just like you can tear that off, and you've got your paid admission.
Cool.
Got a demolished FPOS machine.
I'm a hacker, but I am incompetent.
This is bear hacking.
Shit's hacked.
that is hacked beyond the point.
It is hacked. So.
I'm looking forward for you embracing a firewall, because that's going to probably be literal.
Yes, that's all I can think of.
Okay. The three of you are waved through, and
Honey.
this you are through the gates here. That's what these two red marks were there. Looking down each side, this is something that wasn't there the previous times you've been there. There is a series of little tents that have been popped up. It's more like like when you go to markets and they've got the little coverings, awnings,
Marquise.
That's where the fucking name comes from. Jesus Christ. A series of those set up. There, behind each of them, there's a little desk set up. A whole pile of like jars of all this sort of amber liquid. There we go. Got amber back in the game. Yeah. Just like little pots all set up, and then there's mock beehives. There's a lot of bits of like honeycomb designs set up. There's all along here. Then there's people going. There is like lots of humans going backwards and forwards and like stopping at each of these, and then taking like these little jars of honey, and it's like, and then walking away with them. But they've got little sample pots. You can move your token one down that way.
Oh, yeah.
Because you did good.
You did good. You did good, kid. You did good. All right, you guys are inside. And further on,
What's
you can
this?
see that this here is a large sort of like large building. It's got a couple of like double doors at that end, which are closed currently. And down the sides there are a bunch of older sort of log cabin huts. It looks like someone's tried to sort of spruce them up just in the last week, but they are definitely showing the signs of like 10 years of zero maintenance. And then further on through here, you see like the open band shell area,
Yeah,
and a
that's
couple
the
of
bits on the
buildings
side.
either side there.
Cool.
And then all the way around the surrounds, there are like heavy, canopy of trees, sort of casting most of the surrounds as just sort of this dark forest cover. Not a lot of light is peeking through from the sides. It's this whole area has grown up a lot more just in the last 10 years. It's a little bit. Given a bit more time, humans would do their thing and make this place a little bit more open and airy. But at the moment, they've done enough to get Honeycon going and not much more.
So where are we gonna get honey? Who has the most honey? I have to roll my honey sense.
Where's the honey?
All right, I'm gonna.
Where is the honey? Honey.
Oh, honey! 3 and a 4.
Okay, using your lowest one, that
Three.
would be a success. Okay, you sort of sit there and like sniff at the breeze that comes through.
That felt unnecessary.
Thank you.
You do get wafts of honey from all these stalls along here. There are just little bits. You get little senses of like different varieties. You get some from which are clearly from flowers from the local area. You get the very similar. You like similar sense smells that you get just in the forest. You get a lot of other ones that are very odd. You can it's definitely honey, but it's got hints of floral sense you just have not smelled before. But you definitely get the sensation that the mother lode is in this building over here.
Okay. It's there. It's over in that building there, next to the stage.
I think we should split up.
You do also get senses of more in one over more in one of these over here as well, and a smaller amount coming from this one over here.
Okay.
I think we should split up and try and sneak towards the honey.
I believe that is actually a good plan. We have three sources of honey, and if between us we can reconnoiter each of the particular sources. Surely we can find at least one of them that is unguarded. We can meet back after establishing the layout of the place and decide between us which, or possibly all three, that we can hit, as it were.
Also, I'm not sure how we got past those guards, but I'm pretty sure 3 bears together is gonna cause some kind of scene amongst the humans.
With the entertainment.
I'm gonna need you to talk like this all the time. I like you better as a person like this.
You're gonna need a really good ear, nose, and throat doctor though.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm gonna need some lozenges.
I've got some butter menthols. I think I already said that.
I think he's gonna need an entire tub of butter. All right. If you guys are planning to split up, tell me who is going where and doing what.
What?
I'm going to head that way and sort of keep along
the fence line. All stealthy.
So you're going around this way
Yeah.
and then going around the back.
Yeah.
All right. Brenda, what are you doing?
Look, I'm really drawn to this lot here, so I'm not gonna fit behind there.
Sorry?
I wonder if I could just cut through the crowd and just go that way. I'll go around. Yeah, safe.
I'm getting what everyone's plan is, and let's see what the dice say.
I might see if I can go behind this building here and then come down like that.
All right.
So far, your idea of human disguises has served us well. Women being more aware of fashion and so forth.
Fashion.
Being much more, physical appearance is much more important to women than men. Again,
In the
I'm
human species.
don't like that I'm doing that.
No, it's hilarious. Yeah. So here.
Dr. Hibbins?
On the far side, on the other cabin, there is a collection of grey nomads camped out, just fucking having a time.
Mm-hmm. So you reckon around about back here, I'm going to say there's like 3 or 4 like those laid out sort of lawn chair, deck chairs.
Yep.
One of them is pouring out this this hot beverage, and then spooning in a couple of pieces, a couple of big dollops of honey in, and like stirring it, and like passing these out, and then they're sort of sitting back and just sipping away at this hot beverage.
Yes. Yep.
You know, it'll be good for your throat. Some honey. Sorry.
Oh, I'm getting that honey.
I'm gonna get that damn honey. Yeah, honey badgers are fucking horrifying, aren't they?
Did someone not mention mead? By the way, was that not brought up at some point? Did someone not say
I
the
did
word?
say in the chat that you guys should have mead when you're at Pika.
That was
I
not.
misread that. I thought you said
Okay.
you had mead.
Oh no!
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go.
Alright, bye.
All right. So you're making your way around to the grey nomads that are currently sipping tea and honey.
Yeah.
Around this way over here.
Yep.
What is your plan?
Get the honey.
Nah. Retract the claws.
What was your
Retract the claws.
skill? You were the brains, weren't you?
I am the brains. My descriptor is retired. And I haven't really done anything with eating anything that looks like bamboo because,
Oh.
gun to my head, I'm not sure what I would call looking like bamboo, like, to a panda though. It's one of two things. It's either they know exactly what bamboo is, and not anything but bamboo, or it's like just the world looks like bamboo. it's one of those two extremes. All right. The plan is basically the man that I ate was a retired sociology professor,
And also looked a lot like bamboo.
and I was in a certain light. He was very tall and very thin with green hair. In his retired years, it was like, hey, you go to these places, everyone's retired. It's like a hippie convention. You just sort of show up and sit down and
Yep.
dig in. And so that is literally the plan is just sort of bear walk over and sit down in the nearest available fold-out chair and make some sort of bear noise indicating like, what you got brewing? I'll have one of those.
Okay, so you sort of get over and just sort of do this sort of roll backwards into the chair, and well, let's face it, you're a panda, so it's partially massively retarded looking, partially the cutest fucking thing ever, as this whole sort of round black and white ball of bear just sort of rolls back into the chair. The whole chair sort of tilts backwards and then sort of stumbles forward. You sort of like roll back into position, and then just your trilby sort of goes, like rolls forward over the top of your brow, and you sort of tuck it back again, and then sort of one of the older of these humans sort of comes over to you, and they've got these things on their face that make their eyes look enormous. And she comes over towards you, just like with this teacup, like massively shaking hands. She's got one hand holding the other one to try and stop it shaking. She's handing over this cup of tea, and you've got this whiff of honey coming off it. And
I doff both of my hats.
you only sort of understand enough of human language. You get what you get from her is here you go, dearie.
Oh, it's a granny. I'm going to have to maul a granny.
Don't maul the granny.
My fortune cookie was correct.
She probably can't even like recognize you because
Yeah, the things on her face is literally, she's got the thickest glasses, making her eyes look huge because of the magnification. So you're sitting down sipping a cup of tea with the grey nomads that you've been served by.
It's amazing.
What is this? What is this?
Very drawn.
Honey badger with a fez. Brenda. I'll do a bit of this.
So I'm heading to the stage. So I'm gonna go behind this building,
So you okay?
past the grey nomads.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go down to the side here. And I can smell all the honey.
All right.
So I'm a bit wet, you know, a bit excited. Sorry. Sorry.
Dude,
I'm sorry.
Okay.
don't be sorry. Just don't do it.
So you make your way around there. You make your way past like this group of elderly humans, and you see Dr. Hibbins sort of sitting back there, and he sort of gives you a bit of a nod, and it's like a small.
Doffs my tribute. Murder. Patronizingly as possible. Murder.
You
Finger?
one of the old ladies is like, do you know her?
She's really into me.
Not my type. Literally.
And you sort of keep making your way past. Roll criminal on that, because you're trying to sort of sneak past. Going to, just one dice.
One dice. 2.
You're good. That'll will bump you up a little bit though. But you're essentially trying to
So I
sneak.
go back to 3.
No, it goes towards criminal.
Okay, so I go to 1.
Yep.
Okay.
You're getting too good at this. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
fuck some shit up.
Okay, you sort of sneak your way up to up towards over here, and yeah, you're just getting the smell of honey is just flooding your senses. You can see there is a side door through here.
Do I need to hack my way in?
There is a glass window, and it's got like 4 wooden bars inset on the other side of the glass. And inside you can just sort of see there's only a small amount of light in there, but the light is just hitting this pile of glass jars. We're talking like around that. So each one's about this sort of round, and about a foot tall, 1.5 feet tall, just full to the brim with this amber honey, and the lights just heating it, and it's just like there's a glow coming from this. There's this darkness all around the room, and there's this glowing pile of honey, and it's a pile of about a dozen or so of these large pots, to the point where they're standing about this sort of high, sort of like a pyramid shape. It's just like this. It's like looking at the pyramid at the front of the Louvre when it's at nighttime and it's illuminated.
Yeah, not that I've ever seen that, but
You've seen pictures of it.
Do you want to check in that audio thing of like?
I'm trying to give that whole like halo.
That was better. You do it.
I can see your halo.
Just look angry. I thought it was going to be cute. It's terrifying.
Terrifying. So you're doing a cute thing. It's a honey badger with a hat on. It's
Nope, still scary. All right. Percival.
Go for Percival.
Go for Percival. You were heading towards... Where were you heading towards? You were heading around...
Like sort of trying to meld into the tree line and like stealthily work his way towards the cabin with the honeys.
All right. I'm gonna... If you're gonna go stealthy stuff, that's gonna be rolling criminal.
Criminal?
Criminal.
No, I'm using my bear senses. I'm using my honey badger like stealth abilities. They're okay, whatever. No.
No?
No for criminal. I do not sneak.
Okay. You...
That means I can move up.
Yep.
I wanted to fail that. You fell into my trap. I wanted to fail.
You trying to sneak around the back, and you hear the sort of sound as you sneak along, and looking down at your paw, you see this like red dot on the side of your left paw, and then you just hear this sort of like humming sound coming up from a higher position, and looking up, you see this sort of box with a bottle in the end of it, just sort of like turn like, and a face towards you.
What the?
I tip my fez at the bottle.
And just next to so this round glass just next to it, you see this little flashing red dot.
And then he runs.
Okay, roll for run. That's a bear thing.
That's a bear thing. What am I bear? My bear is 3. I'm 3 and 3. I roll a 3.
You roll a 3. You're fine.
That means
Okay.
it goes that way.
Yep. You sort of like scamper along, and you hear the sound of that whirring sound of this box is still turning to face you, but you sort of looking back over your shoulder. As it sort of it's almost facing towards you. You sort of duck around the other side. It's like, you're always just like moving to the point where you're sort of outside of its direct gaze.
Am I around to that cabin now?
You are.
What is it? What's in the cabin?
Okay.
Sort of like 2 paws up on a windowsill, like peeking over.
I had to draw it.
Okay.
Yes.
This is why I was happy that these things printed out with like just in the corner. I'm like, people could draw and write notes now. That's gonna be my excuse for not doing this thing full page. You peering through this window here, you see like these like wooden crates. And only sort of like a handful of them, and each of them are only about like 2 foot by 1 foot wide. But they're just sort of stacked up with like these little like sample pots of honey. It looks, and each of them just has like a different sort of collection of human writings and like a different sort of picture near it. And what you do sort of realize is like each of those ones you can see are ones you've seen above each of these marquee spots.
Is there a good amount of honey in this room?
There's a reasonable amount. It's just in small little packet.
But does this look like the mother load of honey?
This is not the mother load. This at a guess would be the storeroom for the extra stock for the market stalls.
Out of the like father, mother, sister, brother, we appreciate each other load of honey, this would be like the sister load. Anyone? That was a deep cut. You may not have got that one. The audience was pissing themselves. That was the Berenstain.
This is embarrassing, Bears? Yes.
Oh my god!
Been a while since I've seen that. A long.
Holy shit! Okay, yeah, I did not get that.
It's
Boy.
been a long time.
All right. Yeah, there is.
Are there any humans in the room?
Sitting in one corner is just like one person, a similar sort of uniform as the people at the front desk. Just sort of sitting in a chair, like, and just the the beehive hat is just sort of off the top of the heads are sitting in front of them, and they're just sort of sitting in the chair, heads tilted forwards, arms crossed, and just like sitting forwards.
So this, I'm like at a window to this thing, and can I see like the door to this room from where I can see?
There is a door to this little chateau on the far side of
So
of
the
the room.
opposite side of where I'm on?
Yeah, so basically the door would be
To the north.
To the north. The
there's
door to
no-
the north.
There's a door to
you're
the
around
north.
the back here.
Yep.
The doors are on that side.
Is there any girls there?
Are there any girls there? Using my cunning bear thief instincts, I tap on the glass.
Okay. Okay. And looking back through, you sort of see this the person sitting in the chair is just like one one eye closed, one eye open, sort of leans over, looking towards in your direction. It's like, and then just like slumps.
I
back
tap on
towards
the glass again.
and they sort of they get up.
And then as he's getting up, I quickly scamper. It's a bear term.
It is a bad term.
Scamper around to the door of the building.
Yep.
And I try and get in through the door. Can I get in through the door?
How do you get through the door?
I barrel through the door.
Roll bear.
That's a 6. My bear is 2.
You are not a very big bear or bear adjacent creature. And you sort of just like, you scamper around the side and just like take this sort of run at the door and just like hit and then like slump down and like, "Rrr." So you get the point, you done your little point
Yeah,
of
I went back
frustration. Yep. But from inside you hear this sort of, this sound like, what was that? And the sound of footsteps on the timber floor, and then the door just sort of opens up in front of you, and you're sort of just like on the floor, like just like shaking off the shock of running into a solid door, and the door is now open with human attached.
And then I spring at the human. A flurry of claws.
Okay, roll carnage.
I got 2 dice for that. This is a bear thing, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a 4 and a 6. No, I've got a 3 in bears.
Okay, you sort of launch.
I am a frustrated bear.
You launch yourself at this person, and then it's like they back off quickly and just like
Sorry, love.
like bash their hand to the left to the left and just sort of swat you in mid-flight like sideways, and you sort of like tumble into a pile of like old emptied crates for the stuff that's already out there, and so you've like there's this crash and bang and splintering timbers as you roll across to the side.
This is okay. What happens next?
You tell me.
uh,
You have the element of surprise, my friend.
I regroup. I rally, and I try and spring past the hapless guard into the room.
You're in the room. You jump.
I'm in the
you
room?
You jumped in far enough, and he's basically, as you've attacked, he's gone like this and like pushed you off to the
Okay,
side.
so I'm in the room with
You're
the
in
guy.
Yep.
I extend one bear paw and close the door.
Okay. Roll criminal.
No, I got
Can
more.
we just
I got more.
Okay.
can we just end the game there? That was like fucking end the Sopranos shit.
Push the door closed.
Don't stop.
Believe.
Bring up bear paw. Like point at my honey badger eyes, and then point at him. It's like, you don't want a piece of this.
And panning out to the third person or the actually at the bottom, like I've just got this image. It's just got like a video camera image, and then at the bottom it's just like human cam, like flashing, and it's just like this honey badger sort of standing back up on its back legs, pushing its weight against the back door, and it's like. As this guy.
I can roll a thing now. What should I roll right now? What is this? What is this I'm doing?
Is there a thing just for just general murder? Well, that's just carnage, isn't it? Okay, roll
Scare
that.
people. Use to maul stuff, run and climb, shrug off damage, scare people. That's a bear thing.
I'm trying to scare him.
You're trying to scare him?
Yeah.
This is a scare thing then.
All right, so
That's
I roll bear.
That's a bear.
I roll a 6.
Jesus.
I didn't bear him. Honey badgers aren't that big, so I imagine a honey badger push close the door and go, would be like, what the fuck is this?
How
Fucking-
cute!
Like an angry cat in here. Who's the princess?
Just film it.
This guard is like watching you, like intently watching you while they sort of reach down to their left hand side, like unclip this thing on their side belt and like pull it out of like this leather holster and start bringing it up and then bring it up to their mouth and it's like because you don't understand human.
I don't talk human. I grab the honey and smash out the window.
I wish you honestly, I wish you rolled successfully on the carnies because I was just going to go like pan outside the building and you just hear like the sounds of like just like smash grab and then it's like you just walk out with like honey under your arms like instead we got this scene of you like
Having to negotiate.
grab as much of these little honey samples as you can and just leaping through the back window.
That's my plan. That's my bear plan.
All right.
He grabs all the honey that he can and leaps out the window.
So you got yourself probably about.
Do I take damage for that? Where's my damage meter? I don't have a
You don't have a
damage
damage
meter.
meter. Don't forget you can use honey to. You can voluntarily remove 1 point of criminal into bear by eating a load of honey, or you can do a flashback scene in which you and the other bears plan out the heist over coffee and cigarettes in the back room of a seedy bar to basically do the opposite. So if you've got some way of, if you want to you don't have to sort of rely on the rolls to move those stats backwards and forwards. If you want to do a flashback,
I didn't see that bit. This is the it's all going according to plan.
Yeah.
Flashback. I love that.
A little less
Okay.
conversation, a little more action.
Okay.
Dr. Flibbins? What
Close enough. Close enough.
I forgot what the actual name was.
It is Hibbins.
Hibbins, not Flibbins.
No,
Not Flippins. He is the associate director of anthropomorphy, which is a different field of study entirely.
Steadily becoming more and more Attenborough.
I did notice that. I'm kind of
I
leaning into
thought
it.
it was I got Attenborough straight away.
Pretty
but
much. Okay.
I've never
Yeah.
seen Stargate, so
Oh, this wasn't
This
like
is
the voice.
definitely-
The voice
this is
wasn't
definitely not Daniel Jackson.
no,
okay.
no. Sadly. Can we go back into this again?
just do.
Yeah. Can we just cut me and redo my voice from the beginning, just like on a separate channel?
No,
No.
no, I can't do that thing.
Bugger.
All right. What are you doing? You're in a lawn chair with grey nomads. You have finished your cup of tea.
Here
There's
is-
that little bit of like honey.
Yep.
Honey, like fairly liquidy honey at the bottom of the cup, and you're sort of like got a poured, like a clawed. Oh, sorry, microphone. Clawed finger like scooping that out and like. Oh, I invited mouth sounds to this. I'm sorry.
Just a smackerel of them.
There's a bit of foley you can use for like other things as well.
I won't. I'm going to edit that straight out because I fucking hate mouth noises.
That's actually really fair.
Okay.
Here is my brain's plan. Okay, wait until everyone else is sort of obviously sipping the last parts of their tea, and then immediately be the first person to stand up and say "Mortar, mortar, mortar," indicating thusly that I will in fact pour the next round of tea.
Okay. This is going to be...
Then what happens?
Okay, a couple of them are like, yes, please, I'll...
Honey?
Of course.
Yes, where?
Wha-
Yes, honey bird. Honey good way, honey.
Too much.
Perfect.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it so much. Okay. One of them sort of like reaches into a little like a bag that's hanging off the back of their chair and like pulls out this like a reasonable sized pot and is like, "Here you go, dearie."
Targets, nice, good bags.
Target. It got Yoda at some point. David Attenborough by way of Yoda. Okay.
May I see your backpack?
And it's just like, whoop. As he like, picks it up and like like holds it out, it's like,
Me and the wife go hiking.
I really hope this translates on the recording.
I don't understand.
You'll be alright. If you don't get it, no one else is.
Me and the wife go hiking.
There, me and the wife.
Brenda.
Brenda's my wife.
You sound like the bear from Adventure Time that tries to copy Finn.
Straight up, actually.
Yeah.
You know what? That may have seeped in as well.
He's a bear.
Yeah. Okay.
He's great. A bit creepy, but great.
In human Dr. Hibbins' voice, it's oh yes, me and the wife go hiking quite regularly. You know, a backpack such as this, like, it's very very sturdy. Yes. May I try it on? May I try it on for size?
And this one's roll your brain stat on this one just to try and sort of enunciate and pronounce all as much as possible.
That is a 1.
All right, so you definitely roll under, so that's a success.
Are those a West game of fail dice?
Yeah.
So I'd move
Metallic
up on
fails.
criminal,
You move towards criminal.
which is
The other
which way
direction.
is this way? All right,
Picture-
there we go.
And this one is like, of course.
Get it over like giant bear arms,
You can see-
panda
you-
style, which is like
You're sort of like
ridiculous,
your arms are
but
sort of like slightly
adorable.
pinned back like this, so you're like arms are a little bit like this, and you hear like the sound of like creaking and like a little bit of like like very heavy tension on like all the stitching in this thing. It's like it's pulling quite tight, and your shoulders are pinned back slightly. You're like,
and like plays into it like, I'm a man in a bear costume trying a backpack on. How hilarious is oh ha ha ha. Sort of stomps around a little bit. This is very fun, and like the arc of the stomping going around in a circle slowly gets bigger and bigger until eventually he's walking very far and takes off.
roll criminal.
Just 1 dice.
That'll be one dice. 'Cause you are stealing the thing. That's a success. Oh,
Boom.
wait, is it?
2, and I'm on.
yes,
Wait,
yes.
yep, on 2, and I that one.
Yep.
Across. Nice.
You are risking going to criminal soon. But yeah, you basically start legging it this way, past. Oh, well, actually, how far are you going? Because yeah, you've gotten past the Grey Nomads, and they're sort of. One of them is like trying to chase after you, but they're trying to lean forward with the.
walker.
You've got the walker and a couple of other ones is like chasing after you. Like one's got like a walking cane, is like shaking at you as you sort of make your way away with this small backpack on. Your arms are sort of pinned back a little. You're like doing this panda waddle. Where are you heading? I'm assuming you're heading this direction towards where Brenda went. How far are you going?
In this direction,
Yep.
around, and looking for an opportunity to like quickly cut this way.
Yep.
Or failing that, leg it like all the way around.
Okay.
Like looking for like cover, breaking line of sight.
All right.
If I may,
Please.
could we do a flashback to like the planning in the smoky room with cigarettes?
Sure can.
Because I need to move a point from bear into criminal.
Can I break for a pee?
Yes.
So like, So flashing back to planning out, well, I imagine we're all bears smoking cigarettes in the cave.
Yep.
This isn't gonna cause us.
I think this
This
is
is a
my
fla-
this
this
is
is a
my
flashback.
Well,
flashback.
okay, cool. So it's not gonna impact our
No,
criminal.
you
stats.
two others are going to go criminal out and be like game over, GG, the end.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't doing that. But I'm like,
So, if anything goes wrong, well, after we get the honey, we all need to regroup at the far end behind the stage. We'll regroup and pair up and figure it out from there.
My dear boy, what could you imagine could possibly go wrong with this genius plan that we've concocted?
It is pretty genius.
That we have spent 3 separate, distinct sessions planning.
so I moved one
Yep.
thing, and that's sort of where I'm headed now
Mm-hmm.
to regroup behind the stage.
All right.
Also, if you want to
Nah, Matt, nah. Narratively, you now have to explain like why this went wrong, but according to plan. This is one of those like when the heist looks like it's going wrong, it's actually all going to according to plan. So do that thing now.
We'll get there. Don't worry about it. It's not going to plan yet. We're still in the midst of it going wrong.
Okay. You're making your way to the back of the stage. You said you were ducking around basically the first little opportunity you could around this way, or were
Well,
you gonna continue
No,
on the plan?
according to the
According to the flashback.
So
we
you're-
are, if shit kicks off, we're meeting back behind the stage. So that's where I'm heading as a bear.
So you go racing past Brenda, who is basically like I'm guessing like one paw, two paw, face pressed up against the glass, and just like,
Drooling.
and every now and then you just see like the condensation on the window, just like the breath is like and like pouring at the glass, and you just hear this of
Ryan's having too much fun making bear noise.
it's great.
Sorry.
It sounded like a panda sort of like running the best a panda can past behind you, and you hear the sound of like glass like jingling together as he runs past.
I tip both of my hats and say some concoction of Madame and Ma'am. Ma'am.
Mid-bam.
Madam.
Hey, is that where that comes from? That's gross. Ma'am.
Are there people in this area by the stage where all this honey is?
The room is very dimly lit. It was basically like one central downlight in the middle that's sort of like illuminating this big like stockpile of honey. You can see just a bit of light coming from the far side where there's a larger door that leads through to the stage, which is currently open. You can see just a little bit of movement happening on the stage, like people. So you can see like every now and then someone walks past the door, and you just sort of see their shadow move past, but doesn't seem to be anyone directly inside here.
Okay, I'm gonna try and see if the door is unlocked.
All
If
right.
I can get in with my bare paws.
Roll. Ooh, this is risky
No, what else should I do?
because it will be rolling criminal.
Yeah. And
That could be, if you roll successfully, which is highly likely, that could be you departing the scene.
what other options do I have?
Can we flashback at this point?
Flashback will take you that way. Having some honey
Mm.
will bring you back bearwards. And as the good doctor ran past, you heard the jingling, and you could just sort of get that waft. As he's gone past a little bit further, you just get this waft of honey coming from basically the
With
pathway.
your tight honey senses,
Yes.
you can smell me going past.
You can almost see it on the breeze. You sort of see these yellow lines of like scent coming, and then you see them leading towards like the slightly open top of the backpack on the back of the good doctor.
Alright, can I go get some honey?
Sure
I'm
can.
gonna follow him.
So you follow him. He's standing up behind the behind the stage, talking down at Percival, who is sitting there and has just got like this. He's like greedily got his arms wrapped around those like half a dozen or so small honeypot samples, and he's just like looking up at the doctor with this big sort of snarly, toothy smile. Is like hugging him. It's a little bit of Rocket Raccoon sort of image. Is like he's got something that he wants, and he's hanging on to it. But yeah, you come around to the corner to that side. Those two there sort of conversing, and yeah, there is honey coming off both of them essentially. That scent.
Alright, guys. I found a buttload of honey in this room. But I can't get in right now. Can I please have some of your honey? Just for like a little bit of like energy, bit of help my hacker skills. Just a bit.
Boys.
I did. Well, actually, did you know that a butt is actually a unit of measurement of liquid equaling 2 hogsheads, which is in fact equal to 108 imperial gallons?
Well, it's more than that. It's like 5 or 6 hogsheads with the honey.
Well, actually, I think you would find that it is in fact exactly as much as I.
So, either I could give you some of this stockpile of honey I've seen. It looks really good. Like, really good.
I think
and you sort of look.
that
You look.
seems like the
You look
investment
Brenda right in the
right.
eyes, and you just see both her pupils are like massive within her eyes. And this is like,
Please.
Indeed. I think we've done okay, but this is certainly not enough between us to retire on. I think there is a larger score to be had here, and if Renray, if you think that.
Fucking Miyazaki over here.
you sort of like, you sort of pull your arms sort of slightly forward, and like the right backpack strap sort of breaks, and the whole thing sort of swings around to your left hand side, and you just hear this.
Oh, I'm sorry to contradict you here,
Okay.
but what I actually do is tip my hat and bow forwards, and in doing so, some honey spills out of my backpack.
There we go. You have yourself
And
a little.
I lunge at the honey and put a whole bunch in my mouth with my big bare
Yeah.
paw. Oh yeah! I'm moving this baby up here.
Would you like to do the same?
I highly
You sort of
recommend.
like a little bit dripping down the side, and you basically have a taste of honey in your mouth and bring yourself back into
Honey.
safe zones.
Nice.
Honey. Sorry. I had to do it.
Honey.
How fucking adorable is the panda?
This is so cute.
It's like Grumpy Cat
That's
and the
a
panda
lot.
had sex.
Now do a polar bear. Do a Ryan.
Okay. While you three are sort of regrouping at the back of the stage, you just hear this sound of like I could just tap on a microphone. There we go. And a small sort of like feedback whistle, and there's a and you make this out, but the other ones just hear sort of like wah 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 wah, because apparently it's Charlie Brown's parents.
I believe Charlie Brown's parents have taken the stage.
But you hear is like, please welcome to the stage, Reginald Artemis Nathaniel Guthrie Eugene Rutherford Esquire, the patron of HoneyCon 2019.
And the brother of the man I ate.
And you just hear this sort of like a bit of applause, a couple of little cheers, and it's like, and the little chant is like, honey, honey, honey.
These people are like really into honey. This is weird.
Oh, honey.
So at some point we're going to get a copyright strike from Trixie.
No, super right.
And you hear this sort of this person sort of take the stage, and there's a very, very sort of similar voice to what you got going on, and it's like, welcome there, folks, and welcome to the first of hopefully many honeycons. And there's a round of applause, a little bit of a cheer again. It's like, I hope you've been enjoying the samples of the local produce and some of the stuff that has been shipped in from outside of state and outside of the country. It's taken us quite some time to gather this all together. And I do hope you've had a chance to visit our former president, Abraham Lincoln's old beehives. The rumors have it that his ghost still haunts him.
And I turn to my bear companions and say, it was really necessary for him to stunt on my voice like that. I think I was doing perfectly well, but he apparently had to sweep in at the last moment to do a much better voice. Felt fucking unnecessary, quite rude, really. Whatever. Damn it.
And I would also like for everyone to put their hands together for all the attendants and guards and all the security measures have been put in place to keep the bears out. Just remember, there are no bears here.
No bears. Ooh, lack of bears.
Ooh, for no bears.
We love honey and hate bears.
It's very specific.
It's a
Racist.
very specific group of people. Also, we're really into Firefly for some reason. Yeah.
And he continues on as like, and if you join back with us in about half an hour's time, we'll start the contest for the to crown the best honey hive of this honeycon.
The best honey hive.
Yep.
Like, more honey.
And you see the sort of applause going up again. It's like, thank you, folks. Enjoy the convention, and I'll see you in half an hour. And he sort of takes us outside. There's a bit more applause, and he heads off stage.
And Hibbins turns to you and cryptically at this point, but it's totally going to pan out later, says, the first stages of the plan are going to plan. And then we break for pizza. There's pizza, right?
What are you doing now? You guys are at the back. You have enjoyed some of you have enjoyed a snack of honey. Other people have just thought back to last night, planning in the cave. Basically, a little bit of a rest and recuperation overall. Ready to action the next stage of your heist.
I'm gonna go after this honey.
Yeah.
This
Get some.
This honey. I think this is the honey. So I waddle back over there, or shuffle.
Okay.
And
I've still got armfuls of the honey that I stole.
Yep. Is it like going along like jingle, 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 jingle?
so y'all gonna come with Brenda? Because I don't think Brenda can carry all of this honey by herself. But
You can do it.
We can use this honey as a distraction to get that honey.
How?
When you find out some of it is explosive honey.
Splat.
Splat. Oh,
Hand grenades.
home grenades. I don't know. I don't have the plan. I'm not the brains of this operation.
oh, you have a bag.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Hibbins has a bag.
Flibblesworth.
I'll try and put the armful of honey that I've got in the bag that you're wearing. We need to pool our resources.
It's gonna be really hard. 'Cause
Let's definitely put all of our eggs in one basket.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense because this is honey and it's a backpack.
It's Easter.
I gave the polar bear a
I saw.
Um.
It's the greatest.
Okay.
So you're making your way over to the door.
This is yours. This is your heist. We've planned out separate heists, all culminating in like the heist. But this one's like this is you got you're running point on this heist. We're like if we get our heists done in time, we will like back you up on your heist. Because you've got
But
like
you've already finished your heist.
If we get done, we'll back you up on yours. But yours is like the most dangerous, so like we've got your back.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Alright.
Okay, so you make your way to the door that you're at before, and there's you can see like these two sort of smeared paw prints against the glass.
Not mine. They're not my paws.
And there's sort of like this sort of little wet spot where your nose was pressed up against the glass, just sort of still sort of stuck there. You sort of shake at the door for a little section, and it is quite firmly locked. Glancing over, there is another one of the sort of like little. It looked like the Atom card machine thing that you used before. Is a similar sort of. It's got a whole bunch of like buttons laid out, but in front of it, when it's to the point where you can't quite get your claws through to get to it, is like there's 3 or 4 like long thin bits of like wood, blocking off like sections like running from bottom to top of like wood blocking access to this keypad.
Why? I'm sorry.
That is one of those like peeling back the curtain questions. Like that's crazy though. Why?
Why?
Why would that happen, man? Explain the choices that drove that decision.
Why is there wood over the Atom machine?
That seems like a very bear-centric thing to have put in place.
It's almost like like bits of it. Almost looks bamboo-esque.
Wow. It. Where are you going with that? I got no idea.
Why was that? What
That's a really specific thing to say. What the fuck, man? You got like a fetish?
But you sort of like try and sort of like maneuver your paws around the edge of this, and you can't quite get to the point to sort of get to this.
No, I can't. So these things look like bamboo. Hey, I think it is totally bamboo. You like bamboo, right, Doctor?
Well, actually, I think you would find that is in fact pine, which
It looks
I really feel like I'm locked into that one now.
Sorry about that. Sorry about it.
yeah, I suppose that it does in fact look like bam.
And that's apparently enough. For Gibbons.
Okay.
Fucking tear us.
Roll the dice. 2 of them because it is apparently your special skill. That is a
2.
2 and a 4. What am I? You're rolling on bear, so
2 and a 4. That's
Okay.
bad. That is both of those things.
okay. So
Do I move?
bear
or
or
criminal?
criminal. But you sort of like get there and like dig claws in on one and like get another one in within your teeth and just like tear that away and then pull the other 2 away, exposing this control pad, and then just sort of like pull up yourself back, down on your butt and just like chewing on this thing. Meanwhile, the control pad is open for you if you would like to hack.
Alright. Punch.
Hack.
That's what I do. Exactly what I did to the Atom card
Roll
machine
it.
before. Does it too?
I love that hacking is in there. It says like hacking with an axe. Just hacking at it.
1.
That's the best you could roll.
That is literally the best you could
Yep.
roll.
Do I go to
Damn.
here?
Yes. That was a success, so you go towards criminal.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Okay.
So, if the door opens?
So yeah, you sort of like dig a set of claws on the top, pull away the front, and like jam your left claw in there, and just sort of like jiggle around a bunch of the cords, and then you just hear this sort of sound of like and the door unlocks and just sort of like opens slightly slightly inwards. Door is open.
Alright.
Door is open. Come on in. So let's
Eat some honey.
begin. That is another deep cut that 4 people in the audience are gonna get if they're under the age of 8.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Bear in the Big Blue House.
Boom!
There we go.
We got a 7-year-old in the house. So legally, I can't
Welcome
be
to
here.
the Blue House.
Is there any other bear show I can think of off the cuff?
What can we see in the room?
Okay. The door is. The room is relatively low lit. There's just like one sort of cowled light that sort of swings. What?
You aren't even doing that intentionally, my dude.
What?
So I'm sorry. It's a light source attached to the wall, covered in some way. Describe the sconce to me, Ryan.
Oh no. Okay.
Why do you do this to yourself?
It's suspended from the ceiling.
In a metal cage?
It is metal. It's just like it's one of those more like a larger sort of industrial side light fittings, and it's just like the light is coming down to down the center of the rooms and illuminating these large jars of honey, like the metal screw top lids. Each of them are about a foot and a half wide, about a foot and a half tall. They're big pots. Each of them are labeled up with like different like farms or insignia or hive or like hive sets, and yeah, that's what you see in the room there.
Percival drops the honey that he's been carrying around all this time. And just
like
rampages towards.
it's like ting, 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 these little jars hitting the ground as Percival sort of like starts bounding towards this pile. What are the other two of you doing? Because Percival has chosen his path.
Drooling. My pupils are like, boing. I'm just like hyper focused on honey on the biggest jar. Or they're all about the same size, aren't they? But yeah, I'm just standing there like, oh my god, like it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Okay, Doctor.
Keeping an eye out.
Mm-hmm.
I think being the brains of the operation, knowing that these two are going to go goddamn bare ass feral on this shit. Just
I don't
like
think bare ass. Oh wait, no, that means something different.
But also yes.
I stand by it. We've established that we're wearing hats and nothing else, so we're all literally bare ass right now. Keeping watch.
Okay, so from the outside of the thing, so you're
Inside, but like peeking round the corner.
Okay. As so you're bounding towards, you sort of like start scrambling up this pyramid of glass jars. Get to the top one and sort of like hug around it and start unscrewing. There's like heavy like foot and a half top is here this like scraping of metal versus glass, and as you open it up, it's almost like you hear like a choir of angels. It's like the and it's just like the lighting coming down from the top just illuminates the top. You just see it's like looking down into a
like the
volcano.
scene in Pulp Fiction where they open the suitcase and it's just this
It's like
golden light in their
golden
face.
glow. Yep.
Is that what I think it is?
Is that what I think it is?
That's beautiful, man.
And you, if you want to, can dive in. Essentially, you could just about fit your whole, at least half your body in one of these jars.
Oh, I want to do that.
The voice has now gone cockney. We had the opportunity. We could
I want to eat the honey.
I'm gonna push past and stick my paw in that jar that he's about to jump into.
So yeah, if you
So
want
I
to,
can-
you can.
Move up a little bit and be more bear than criminal, because I am a bear at heart.
Dr. Hippin's PhD turns back to the mauling of the honey, and says to his friends, "Yes, feed up on as much honey as we could possibly get, because now the real heist begins."
Oh, you motherfucker!
Dun-dun!
I knew it. One
Flashback.
last time.
Okay, flashback. Yep.
Flashback.
You can go full criminal, bro.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing. Can I say that like we all eat like a bunch of honey?
Yeah.
And like,
You've got honey in your backpack. You can
yeah,
just.
we like we
smack
are.
on
I think
down.
we are fucking good.
Yep.
For honey, but I think that we can do better. So here is what was always the real plan. Flashback. Dark bar. Everyone's got cigarettes. Even if you don't smoke, you got two cig. If you don't smoke, you got two cigarettes.
I would imagine that your guy vapes.
I don't know what I've done to you personally outside of the game to make you such a bitch to me casually in front of our friends like that. But people like ask me about you. Ross is my friend. Yeah, he's a good friend.
No.
You're a shit
The
is what
character
you
that
are.
you've created, wearing a trilby and bear splaining vapes.
Yeah, okay. You actually painted a picture. Yeah, okay. I was thinking a pipe. But
Vaping
you've
is
actually
very
made it
healthy,
better.
by the way. So.
Oh
it's- yeah.
no, absolutely, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Anyway.
It's just like you pair that with the trilby, and you're
Yeah.
painting a picture at that
Yeah,
point.
it's unfortunate.
not a
There's been some
Yeah.
choices.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah,
flashback.
So I'm smoking a pipe that is actually a vape. It's a vape in the shape of a pipe.
A vape pipe.
And like I'm real like bitchy about like PG levels and nicotine levels. It's not even like just like cool vaping. It's like being a bit of a shit about it, really. Yeah.
I know
yeah.
that.
I
guy.
got this image. Like there's someone up on a stage doing slam poetry with someone playing an upright bass next to them.
I mean that's a really upsetting picture. But yeah. Thanks for adding. So if everything goes according to plan, at that point we will find ourselves in the motherlode with more honey than we could possibly eat to, as it were, charge our batteries. And then, my friends, the real heist begins. Between us, we will steal Lincoln's hives.
I knew it.
Yes. The hives of Lincoln himself, the fabled source of all honey. No more stealing honey, but in fact owning the source of all honey, the place from which all honey comes. With this in our possession, we can retire, printing our own honey.
Okay.
Cool beans.
See, in his understanding, dead presidents on money is money. So Lincoln's hives is where the money comes from, which is honey, honey. And so we get the hives. First you get the hives, then you get the honey.
It's impeccable logic. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I'm the brains in this situation, so if I believe it, I can convince you guys
Yeah.
of this.
That's pretty.
Ridiculous
Roll brains.
as it is. Really? Okay.
Okay.
This is in flashback, so I'm not going to make you move your stats for it, but I just to convince the other two.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. That's a. I got a 3, and I got a 4 on brains. I got a 4 on criminal.
Mhm.
So that's better than yes. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. He does make a convincing argument. You know, these are jars of honey. These will empty out. A hive. That's where honey's made.
No, knowing this is the plan, though, part of the plan is us eating to our fill and completely covering ourselves in this mother load of honey, right?
I didn't say it was a good plan.
Yeah, no, I got it.
What about the bees?
I didn't say it was a good plan. we're honey-covered bears charging at a beehive full of bees.
So right now,
it's gonna be fine.
right now we've broken into the inner sanctum of the giant stash of honey. Outside the door, we've left like jars upon jars of a bare armload of jars outside the door.
Yep.
And busted open the honey. And all right,
Yep.
so
We've literally done as well as could possibly be expected of this ridiculous situation. And if we just went home, it would be the greatest bear heist of all time. And
but
now-
not the greatest bear heist of all time.
the greatest plan. Now the real plan begins.
Okay.
Okay.
Did Ryan write anything more for the next part?
He did. Must have.
I'm good. All right. You guys are. You're explaining your the this is the next stage. This is what we're doing. Fat cotton going on.
Blowing some fat cotton.
I drew a vape on your panda.
I'm going to start telling people you're a sex criminal. That seems about fair.
Okay. You are eating your fill. You can basically go as far to bear as you want if you want to fill up on honey.
I'm already pretty bare.
Can I just go up to 3?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take another bear.
You hear it first. You hear the sound of it's like muffled voice, and then a slight click. You notice it first because it's electronic,
Yeah.
and you're used to electronic,
Oh,
but you
something's
don't
happening.
understand human, so it just sounds like.
Something's happening. Something's happening. We gotta go.
As the lookout on the back door, you sort of see this silhouette sort of pass past the window of the back door, and you from your perch upon Mon's honey, you hear hear the sounds of footsteps across the stage, and then just sort of from your position you start seeing the feet walking towards, and then sort of the rest of the body sort of being framed by the door frame. And
Is it only one door in and out of this room?
there's like a normal sort of like a single door. There's one which got hacked, and there's like sort of like double doors
Okay.
which lead out to the stage.
And
They're
that's
the
where
two-
that's where we're seeing the people come through.
What the doctor can see is someone passed by the one that you guys came through in, and you can see someone approaching the one that leads out to the stage.
Okay, I pull my head out of the honey, and I push the giant jar of honey over so that it spills all in front of the door, the other door.
All right. Okay. Roll bear.
I have a 4 in bear, and I rolled a 4.
Yep.
That's a good. That's a good. That's a
that-
good.
If
a
you
That's a
hadn't
good.
got that, I would have argued to shit that would have been 2 dice because that's a honey move, and you're literally a honey badger.
Okay, this jar sort of like tilts over sideways, and there's like clink, 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 and there's. You expect a bit more of like a splash. It's more like a. But honey is just slowly merging with the floor.
It would be so sticky.
That's the idea.
I need to wash my hands.
And you just hear what you hear is oh. What you make out is they're here. And stepping towards the open doors, just like and this sort of slowly moving flood of honeys is like begin to sort of lap at the base of their sort of well polished black shoes. As this gentleman sort of standing there, he's got like the whole like dark suit on, vest, like almost like a lace cravat going on. It's like a smoking jacket, long curled mustache, and and just like monocle going on. What?
Wait, like I'm loving the depth of the world here. I'm fucking enraptured by what we're dealing with right now. Can't wait to hear the voice
Yeah.
and hear his name.
And yeah, he says like, I figured you would be along soon enough. And he's like grabs the 2 doors and like pulls them closed in front of him, and you just sort of see through the glass there. He's just got this large sort of like crossbeam, as like put it up against the door and dropped it down. And on the far side behind you, you hear the door like pull close and like click.
Oh no.
We're stuck in a room full of honey.
Well,
What a way to go out.
I do believe, colloquially amongst the humans, this is how we would describe ourselves as being quite fucked.
And from outside, you can make out quietly now. But if you could get down to the armory and get the tranquilizers, we have some bears to deal with. Don't make too much of a fuss. We don't want to panic the locals.
Panic as much as you can.
Are there like any like air vents in the room that we're stuck in?
Sure, there is now.
Yes.
By asking? Yeah.
Yes.
Are you gonna go out and go out through the event?
I get one of my bear compatriots to give me a boost up,
Yeah, I'll give you a boost.
and just fucking like rip off the air vent panel, and then like
Roll bear for this whole thing.
just bear, it's a bear escape.
Barely.
I did not roll under my bear stat. That's a bad.
Okay, so you rip that vent off because it's just a fucking vent, and you just hear the sound like clang clang, and then you get up in the vent and it's got it's clawed feet. It's not like you're a cat. You can't retract those claws. You just hear that click, click, through a metal vent, and you just hear, what you can hear from outside is like, by Jove, one of them's in the vents.
They're way smarter than us.
Yeah.
It's like they're not bears or something.
And you just hear all three of you can hear the sound of just like running across the wooden stage. You hear it probably the clearest. You just hear the sound of just like click, click of the some sort of metal and you're just like scampering through this vent. What are the other two of you doing?
I'm eating honey. Because I don't know what to do now.
At this point, it's just panic eating. It's like,
The guilty man
And
knows he's been caught.
honey-
Gets a nice nut roast.
honey fuels my hacking skills, okay? Panic eating honey and trying to figure out how to hack our way up, but it feels like there isn't any other way apart from through the vents.
you can do things other than hack.
You can bear. You can bear at things.
You can just do general bear things.
So if I smash down the door,
Yes,
I'm probably gonna get shot.
maybe.
So we got in the room. We got the door that we came in.
Which
And
is
the
something's closed behind you, and you heard
Yep.
an audible click.
And we got the two double doors
Which
that
lead
are
out
like
to the stage.
barred. So we got two exits. Like
Yeah.
And
Oh,
you
yeah,
get
I
the
think
third
you
exit, which is
An air vent.
an air vent, which
Of course.
because Bear McLean is up in the
Coming to the coast, have a few laughs.
So I wonder if we can smash our way through the double doors. Using
Well, your
our
bears.
bear strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just kind of like power on out with holding as much honey as we can. I wonder if we can. Is that a fence that's back here?
Yep.
Do you reckon we can like smash through that fence?
something to keep in mind is that you're a fucking bear.
So I think I think I might just smash through like. Go bear. I can't think of anything.
Go
else!
bears! That is a fucking valid thing to do. You're
I am
a
a goddamn bear. Sorry.
Goddamn bear.
Yeah, I don't have very long legs. I don't know how fast it would be. I don't know how a sun bear would smash through a thing. But that's the only thing I can think of right now.
combined efforts.
Yeah,
Sun
so
bear and panda together
Yeah,
could
that's
almost
what I was
equate to
thinking.
a strong bear.
yeah, a strong bear. Or one
Almost.
those things that bailiffs used to like get into people's houses when they're
warrant?
The law.
battery ram? Is it a battery?
Yes, a
Yeah,
battering
so
ram.
we can like
Use some
Bear-
honey as a battering ram.
be
It's like pick up a
be-
jar, like clunk, clunk,
be
smash.
bear-
Damn it!
be bear battering
Now the door's all
rams. We be like be bear battering rams. That was really hard to say. What do you think, Doctor? That's all I can think of.
I'm imagining this is like a panic scenario where
Yeah,
there isn't a lot of
this is
brains going on.
the
Like everyone's scattering for
Every
a
bear
door.
for
Every bear
themselves.
for themselves.
And I'm still eating
yep.
honey during this whole process.
If you if you charge for like the door that we came through, we'll see how that goes, and if that is like a big womp womp, then we've got one more bite of the apple to see if we can get like a way out of this room. Yeah.
I think you guys should charge the door you didn't come in through.
That's what I'm thinking.
Something new and different.
The door behind which there is like a big bar and like a click click sound of like
And a guy with a mustache and a monocle.
yeah, which is like the most dangerous
eat
kind
it.
of guy for
You
a
can
bear.
eat another
Yeah.
man.
For a bear, a guy with a mustache and a monocle is like
Really,
Hitler. This
really
is, this
hard
is the
to
most dangerous
digest.
kind of bear.
Yeah, the monocle gets stuck.
Have you ever tried to get a monocle dislodged from the back of your throat? It's
Have you
horrid.
ever tried to poop out a monocle?
Why? I don't know why you guys have information on this. Like,
I read an alternate version of Umbrella Academy, and the whole exploration of where the monocle went was completely different.
spoilers?
I don't know. I haven't
Okay.
seen that either.
So,
Do it.
you two, as a combined effort, both roll bear.
Is that what, two?
Just single.
5. I'm on 3.
Boom!
All
I
right.
bear down on that shit. That's my last one. I'm done.
So you basically you're
That's not your last bear pun.
It's not.
You're
full of
right.
shit.
Honestly, I've barely even begun.
okay. You two barrel at the double doors. you basically take a door each. You took the left one, you took the right one. You go straight through the right one. It swings open. You hear the sound of like the barrack, the bar that you put on the far side just sort of snap under the weight of a panda. The sun bear, unfortunately, sort of just like slams into the door, and it just doesn't quite give as much. And you sort of like bang, flop, and you sort of plop back onto your butt into this slowly spreading pool of honey. So your butt is now all sort of sticky, and you're sort of like tackily trying to get up off the ground. But
And then I say, allow me to get that for you, and open the door for you, and then expect you to have sex with me.
Maybe
think-
later.
I think
just want to
that
get
is
out
actually
of
my
here.
last one of those, by the way. I'm feeling real
thank
bad.
you,
Please.
that would be great.
Maybe later.
Trilby
Just get me the fuck out of here.
scratched off the list.
So you sort of like
Okay.
you pull the door open, and then you just hear this, and you feel like a sharp pain in your behind,
Oh,
and you just start feeling
your bare
it's a little bit drowsy. And just like,
All right, good
which
game.
is quickly followed by the sound of like,
Oh shit!
and you do the same sort of thing, but you sort of like feel this sort of spike sort of hit your shoulder, and just like this sharp pain, and then just all like the left side, the right side of your face just sort of like starts going a bit numb, and you're like, the bell.
And at that moment, Percival leaps out of an air vent, tackling whoever was shooting his bear friends.
Get him.
I'm going to continue running with the fantastic bear score you rolled before, where you were like scampering through, and then all of a sudden there's like this grate falls out from underneath you. You just like drop onto the floor like, plunk. Beans.
Ah. We all got trained.
The three of you.
We all slowly wake up on the back of a
all
cart.
three of you, please roll bear, please.
1.
Whoever succeeds by the most is going to be the most.
Boom.
I succeeded by 1.
I got a 4. Do I have to move up?
That's fine. I just wanted to see who was.
What'd you get?
I have a 4 bear, and I rolled a 3.
I'm the opposite.
4 bears.
All right. The good doctor sort of like right eye sort of like pops open first off, and then the second one sort of follows, and it's like this awkward sort of uncoordinated blinking as it tries to sort of sit up, and it's like groggily slops side to side like, and like tries to shake it off, and it's like a little groggy, but you're finally sort of getting a little more upright, and you're looking in this larger dark room. All the way around there are you're having memories of your childhood, in the zoo enclosure where you grew up. You saw these just like the bamboo forests all the way around you all the time. There's just like this uniform shape of uniform lines of bamboo that have been grown for the panda enclosure. And they sort of like shake it off a little bit more, and the sort of the memory colors fade to sort of reveal the actual situation. The room is a lot darker, and this uniform shape around there is wooden, basically bars that have been set up around a larger hall room. Next to you, sort of piled rather unceremoniously, is a sun bear and a honey badger. The honey badger is just sort of like,
That's me.
draped over the top of the front paws of the sun bear, and just like snoring and like drooling out the right side of its toothy maw. The sun bear is just sort of like paws out front, head just like slumped between the two front arms, just snoring away.
Again, I'm just loving the world. I don't have anything, so I'm looking at me expectantly. I'm just loving the world that you're creating.
I mean, I really enjoyed this one. This has got a lot
Yeah,
of narrative going on. You're in a large open room. You get a little bit of light from some windows either side, but you just see like essentially bars made of timber around the room.
So they're not. They don't look like bamboo.
Oh, I think they look enough like bamboo.
Yeah. Cool.
There is some sort of bamboo arch building up inside of me.
While you're sort of sitting there, just like going like the sort of groggily making your way over to the closest set of bamboo, the other two start to sort of stir and wake up. The sun bear sort of wakes up first and sort of like gets up, moves its paws and sort of drops the honey badger sort of onto the wooden floors, which
Sorry about
shocks him awake, and he's just like, ah. But all three of you are awake.
Honey.
A door at the one end opens up and sort of floods the light sort of floods through into the room, and the silhouette in there has got this. You can sort of see the peaks of like a curled mustache coming off the side. You see like a little hint of like the monocle chain just coming off the side of the silhouette, and the gentleman standing on the other side is like, finally, I have the last of you bears. And he sort of, your eyes begin to sort of like focus a little bit more, like you manage to adjust to the light, and he sort of steps a little bit closer, just sort of into the building proper, but on the far side of the bars from you three, and he's like, goes up, grabs the monocle away from his eyes, or like takes it off, unhooks the chain, drops it into his pocket, takes the vest off, and just like the shirt underneath, unbuttons that shirt, takes it off, and underneath that is like the khaki green of the forest rangers. And he just takes that off and pulls his hat out from his, sort of the sides of the wide brim hat of the forest rangers, puts it on, and is like, then slowly pulls off the false curled mustache. Honeycon. Really? Clever.
Damn it! Oh, it was a honeycon!
A
Ah!
clever bear, panda bear, as you are, good doctor, should have known this was a con
It was
to
in
get
the
the
name!
three of you, the last three, that have been causing me no end of problem.
It turns out that you were slightly less smart than the average bear.
And now,
I feel like I've told you to pack that shit in already.
and now that I've got you three finally caught and captured, I can ship you off back off to the zoos, and this forest can go back to where it should be. Humans enjoying the wilderness without fucking bears ruining the place.
Like, launched myself at the side of the cage. You killed my brother! Oh, shit. No, sorry. No, wait. Other way. Sorry.
And you sort of charge at it, and he sort of takes 2 steps back, and you sort of hit the timbers, and it's like, no, none of that. And it's like,
Don't those timbers look a bit like
now,
I raise a paw. Do we still get the honey?
Yes, do we still get the honey?
and he's sort of looking at you two as like,
I want the honey.
I just want to be.
I'm assuming from your grunts and growls that you're still really desiring the honey.
We're bears.
Those two really want the honey. I had 2 days until retirement.
So those timbers do look like bamboo, right?
And so he's like, there'll be plenty of honey for you once you're safely behind bars in, I wish I thought of a place where I could be sending you.
Neverland. Don't know.
What? Okay.
I'm just working
I was
on
gonna-
I was tranked, okay?
Brisbane.
Brisbane.
No.
Brisbane.
No.
Cockburn.
Cockburn. I was just trying to think of a random zoo name that the three of you would be in because you're all unique, different bears. A panda would be somewhat desirable.
The San Diego Zoo.
There we go. And he's like, sit tight. The zookeepers will be along soon enough. Until then, enjoy my hospitality. And there's like, shuts the doors behind him. And you just hear him step off.
Oh, I'm gonna eat that ranger.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat him too.
New plan. We eat that fucking ranger.
Yes.
You're in a prison cell.
Eat the bars, panda.
Hello, Panda.
Please.
Oh, boo. Oh, boo.
Oh, boo.
If I
Boo
don't,
yourself.
if I don't get anything for Brisbane, you get nothing for Hello Panda. That's pretty good, though. Okay. So, first of all, get out of the cell. Secondly, eat that fucking ranger's shitty little face.
Third, steal that monocle.
Honestly, I'm amazed that I didn't have that already.
All right. Get the monocle of what is it, right? Reginald Artemis Nathaniel Guthrie Eugene Rutherford Esquire.
Oh, I thought it was like separate people.
Nope, that's his full name.
I was like, where are the other guys?
No, that's his full name, and I'll give you that one once we're at the end, so you can work out what I'm doing there.
Okay.
Because that's got a whole thing.
So this is how this works. We like bug him for names of people so much. It's like when you get one, you get 9 of them. All right.
6
Although
and a title.
this is gonna work against you, Ryan. You named a character. Now we get to kill him.
Yes, you do. You got to get out of the fucking
M-
prison first.
M's the rule. Well, I am still quite groggy from the dosing of tranquilizer, and I'm still half in the dream memory of my native Japan, and seeing the I mean,
Panda's from China.
dude,
Wow.
Wow.
He's
I actually
been
I
trained.
cannot
Actually,
do
no,
anything
there
with
was-
China.
There was quite a few pandas used as gifts during negotiations between China and
Ping
Also,
Ping and
also,
Ling Ling
also,
and-
your trilby wearing panda like identifies as being from Japan.
he goes as
Thank you.
Korea than
He's a
anything.
he's a weeaboo panda.
Yes.
He's Japanese.
I have trained in the sword.
Are you gonna eat a bar?
Yep, in like a half drunk state. That looks enough like bamboo.
Yep.
To me.
Yep, that's a success. You sort of get there and it's like pull these 2 bars apart and like tear one out and just like rip it into pieces, like chewing down on these couple of these splinters. Get into the second one, pull that one out. It's just gotten enough sort of width now. Honey Badger can definitely get through. Sun Bear can definitely get through. You may need to get a third one to be able to get yourself through because you are the larger of the 3.
Thank you
It's
for
not,
noticing.
not a reed. It's just a thing.
Thank you for noticing.
Also, pandas are fat, y'all.
That's why they can't get laid.
Ricky, I can't get laid.
Oh my god, you're an incel panda. Oh boy.
It's actually perfect character creation. Inadvertent perfect character creation. I fucked up with the academic. I should have just been like a straight up
Incel panda.
incel master of the sword. Go back and do it again.
That's it, start again. We've got 4 hours. Yeah, you've managed to widen up enough gap for these guys to get through. you might have to spend a little bit of time getting that.
Oh, I don't think he recognizes that. I think he thinks that
Groggy
he's
enough
like,
to-
yeah, he thinks he thinks he looks like a Chad, and he is just like pushing through that and like Pooh Bear
You're gonna-
style gets stuck halfway through. Oh, I'm too muscular to fit through this gap.
Okay, so yeah, the panda opens up only two of the bars and then decides to go through first. So essentially, no, Honey Badger through first.
So he doesn't give a fuck.
Panda starts to go through seconds and then it gets partway through and there's all of a sudden you just hear this and like creaking of two bars either side of him, and from Brenda's angle you just see like this black and white butt with these two legs just sort of like wildly trying to push at the floor. At the honey badger's side of things, you see this panda face get through, and then sort of like got this look on its face of realizing that it's a little bit stuck.
Shall I ram at the panda?
Oh, I wish you would.
If you don't mind, would you stop touching my bare ass?
I was trying to help. Okay. Shall I give you a bit of a shove?
Yep,
'Cause
that's a bear.
I don't think that.
Honestly, I was going through first to hold the door open for you, so frankly, at this point, you owe me.
Okay. Shall I roll a bear?
Roll bear.
A 3.
Yep, success. So you sort of like roll up, and from your perspective, you just sort of hear the sound of, and then, yeah, quite bodily hit from behind, and from your position, you just see black and white bear all of a sudden lurching through this space that was clearly never going to fit through in the
Yeah.
first place, and just like pop through and then roll to, head over tail a couple of times, and then sort of landing at a stop, just sort of sitting in an upright position.
I get to my feet, look at Brenda, look at Percival, tip my hat to Percival, later virgins, sawn her off. I got some. A girl
Am I
touched
gonna
me.
fit through this?
Yeah, you're smaller than a panda.
Okay. Thought so.
So you manage to sort of just get through, you sort of like turn sideways, just like sidle through. The doors ahead of you, like the actual doors of this building, are not locked. They don't think the ranger expected the bars to be broken.
Ranger.
Opening up, you appear.
Oh.
Hey.
The honey's so close still, perhaps.
So the three of you are popped out in that space there. So you're looking across, essentially the quad area towards the stage.
Is there anyone else?
Other
there?
people around?
There are very few people of like the actual con visitors still around. There are several of the Rangers deputies essentially wandering back, like basically patrolling back and forth with tranquilizer guns.
We got to sneak. We've got to sneak past the guards, get the honey, and go. That's my plan. What do you think of my plan?
I don't know how we're gonna get the honey. They're gonna. Sorry, I should be more incompetent.
Well, Brenda, knowing that you are just a simple and incompetent woman, again, like,
it's all good.
I feel like we're not going to be friends.
No,
after
it's
this.
I'm playing into it as well. It's all good. Go.
We can abandon the honey, and if your keen bad senses can find the Lincoln hives, we can still make good of this heist and escape.
Can my honey senses pick up hives?
Roll it.
Okay, just one.
It's your special ability, so you get to do 2.
3 and a 5.
You do. Okay.
Yeah.
You're sort of sniffing around. You can definitely pick up like the fact that the mother lode is still there. Smelling specifically for hives. The difference of smelling for a hive rather than just honey is you're trying to start smelling for the wax.
Yeah.
That's the thing you're going for.
Wax.
So you sense hives amongst that honey there.
Alright, and where are these rangers with the
There are patrols that are basically going up and down this way. Essentially, they are patrolling around that, waiting for...
the zoo to come pick us up?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So the hives are here. We have to figure out how the hell we're gonna get there. Brains?
Honey Badger?
Face.
Percival licks some of the honey that's still on his fur. Looks wistfully to the sky. Says, "You guys get that hive. I'll take care of the guards."
Alright.
And then he tromps off in the other direction,
Okay.
howling,
So,
creating a huge noise, and going in the opposite direction of where the hive is.
Percival takes a walk off this way here. There is one guard that is patrolling that way currently. The other two of you, you are making a beeline?
A beeline?
Oh!
Oh! Bow, 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 bow.
Are you going to head straight for this one here? Because it's like all the chateaus, it's got a door on a front veranda that faces towards this inner.
I do not have a better plan.
Yeah,
do
maybe
you have a better
let's
plan?
just go for it.
All
Or
right.
hack us in.
We're bearing down on that shit.
Bearing down.
Percival's sacrificing himself for you guys. Make it count. Make this one count.
Oh, that was I'm going outside. Maybe a while. Yeah. Okay. All right.
All right. Do your thing first.
Carnage? I'm doing
Oh,
Carnage.
yeah, I figured you were doing carnage.
That's a bear thing, right?
Yes.
I rolled 2 for that. I rolled a 1.
Oh, that's a successful carnage.
More bears.
That goes that way.
I thought it goes.
Because success always goes towards criminal.
Oh, right, yeah,
failure
yeah.
always goes
Yeah, no,
towards
you're
bear.
right.
All right. You sort of like stalk behind this one here, and he's just like pacing over
That was
that
my
way
honey
there,
badger noise. What do you
and
think?
Wow,
makes his
okay.
way
Very good.
towards this corner here. Now he's about to turn back around, and you basically like launch yourself at his back, and it's like claws in like either side of his shoulder, and it's like tear him down to the ground. And before he can even yell out, you got like your jaws around like the section around his throat, and just biting tight so he can't scream, and just like choke him out.
No, but I'm trying to make a diversion.
Wow. Okay. I had tea with an old lady, by the way, just for contrast here.
This one here, like the gun sort of, the trank gun sort of just rattles to the ground.
Can I pick up the trank gun?
Yes, please
You
do.
could sure as hell try, yeah.
Oh, wait.
It's a honey badger with a gun. All right, yep, this is happening. Fuck yeah, honey badger don't give a damn.
Yeah, fuck.
All right. Right. Honey badger with a gun.
Looking for any other guns.
Okay. Either side of this one here, the two ones that were the ticket gatherers are now sort of geared up. They're basically sitting there like guns at the ready. They're sort of looking around, waiting to see anything. They're sort of one's facing this way, sort of giving an arc that way. One's facing that way. Oops, not that way. Basically, like, each are sort of covering each other's six.
I'm imagining Percival strides out with a. I don't know where he got the lit cigar, but he's got a lit cigar, and he's holding
Yeah, he
the.
fucking does.
Hey fellas, Have you seen my picnic basket?
Oh. And what you again, human can blink, blink, blink. Is this honey badger comes out like this waft of smoke coming off, and it's like, and then, and this guard here, yeah, if you can roll,
That's a criminal, right?
that's criminal.
No. I rolled a 6.
Okay,
Hey, guess what? Bears can't fire guns.
it's kind of like, it's basically you hear, ping, and this dart you see this from human cans, just like, shoot, tung. And then this honey badger is just like, "Huh," pushed backwards by the recoil of other thing, and yeah. Now,
While this is going on, my compatriots.
and you just hear what you hear from the far side, because you can understand it, is one of them's free. Get it! And there's like the sound of like running.
Oh shit! What do we do? Do we just go get the honey?
That was your plan, right?
All we can do is make this count.
Yeah, let's go. So are we like running to get? We're running to this, and we try and smash through the door.
All right. You get to the front door. You peering over your right shoulder, you just see like this couple of guards over this way, sort of running around to the far side of the building, heading towards the distraction that's been created. You get to this door over here. The front thing is again. So there's been some recent sort of refurbishments around this place. It's still, but they've got a little the hotel swipe card locked door things.
Of course.
It's giving you opportunity for hacking.
Alright, I'm gonna hack. So is it 2?
2 dice.
4 and a 5. So and I'm 3.
Okay.
So
You sort of swipe your claws down on top of it and sort of lodge them in the top, but just get a jolt of electricity back into your pore. You just like, and you feel like the few of the hairs on the back of your hands just like sizzling away. And you've got that smell of burnt hair. Not great.
Oh dear.
I'll see if I can find another way in. I'll scout around the back.
All right. Heading around the back, there is a window that sort of looks out upon the wild forest and the backs onto the wilderness thing. It's a decent sized bay window. It's meant for looking. You can pretty much go straight through it. You're a bear.
I am a bear.
Looking inside, if you want to just have a glance inside before just going fucking bear-nader.
He's a bear, but he is like
Cultured bear.
a bit of a cultured bear.
Looking inside, there's 2 hives that look like they've been made from little tiny logs. They're made up like little log cabin hives.
He's gonna eat the hive.
I didn't think that you were gonna theme the hives, but that is actually, I love that.
They're Lincoln's log cabin hives.
Lincoln log cabin hives.
And in front of them, there's like this little sort of like an information plaque. You can't read it from this distance, but you can see like there's some pictures, black and white pictures of like a tall human with a beard and a large hat standing in front of what looks like these two hives. Yeah, and there's some writing that you can't make out from this distance.
I go in.
Roll bear, because this is a smash and grab sort of situation.
Is there there isn't like a lock or an opening?
No.
No.
This is going through the window.
Okay, I'm just like,
You go through the window.
I go through the window.
All right.
Damn.
What Brenda hears from the far side is like a loud crash and the sound of Panda hitting wooden floors on the far side amongst broken glass.
Ow. Alright. So do I...
You did well.
Do I
It
run...
sort of rolled.
Sure.
Duck and roll.
what are you doing? You now have 3 guards chasing you at this point, or heading towards you at this point. You're sort of on your back. You've got the trank gun by your side, which sort of knocked you over. What do you do?
I'll drop the gun
That part's kind of already been done for you.
and
Yeah.
scamper away towards the tree line. Sort of
right.
that way.
All right. I think running was one of the. Yes,
That's a bad
run and climb. That's a bearer thing.
I run.
You do run.
I run and climb up a tree.
All right. Yeah. So you basically make a line for there and start climbing up this tree. The trunk is on the inside edge of the fence, climbing up to the top, and from that position there, you're sort of looking down and sort of. It's decent thick branches, so you can sort of cover most of your body as long as they don't come from like a side angle. And just off to your right, if you maybe 2-3 meters, there's just this single post. At the top is this sort of shoebox size box sitting on top of it, and you just hear this as it turns and faces towards you, and you just see the little red blinking light.
Can I reach it from where I am?
You could probably jump at it.
Yeah, I'll jump at it. I'll jump at it. That's a bear thing?
Yeah.
Jump.
I can even give you carnage on this one, because this is you jumping at something with malicious intent.
I do that.
You do that? Alright, you leap at this thing, and you're basically like, your body is sort of wrapped over the top of this metal box on a swivel, and it starts to like pan backwards and forwards, like trying to either shake you off or see what's on and rolling counter, you basically like get your claws in underneath and just like pull the top casing off it. Inside you see like this I'm trying to describe this is essentially, it's a video camera, it's a camera setup.
Oh, there's no bees inside.
Yeah, I thought it was bees.
Mr. Homer, it appears your hat is full of bees. But yeah, and inside you basically like claw and tear. Essentially, you've learned a few tips of hacking from Brenda. We used to rip this camera apart. Brenda, you are out the front.
Alright.
Meanwhile, in the background, you just hear the sound of like smashing metal and glass. And inside you also hear the sound of smashing glass and Panda rolling across the floor. What do you do?
Panda. Should I? Hey, can I have another go at trying to get in through the door?
You can have another go.
Or
you can just like.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Is there like a window or something I can tap on?
There's a window on the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna tap on the window and try and get try and get Doctor's attention to let me in, please.
The door opens, but I'm like leaning up against the door frame, like.
Arr.
Nice of you to join us.
My butt is still sticky.
Mine too.
Alright, so let's get these hives.
All right, there is 2 of these log cabin hives. I love that image. As soon as I saw it was a link in, because it's a literal. I'll show you the sheets after. You basically run in and get one of these things each. You sort of get because you're the 2 bigger bears in this situation. Pick up one of the hives each and start running. In which direction, actually? I think you're going to try and clamber back through the broken window, or you're going to go out the front and try and meet up with your comrade.
Where is he right now?
He's over this way somewhere-ish.
I lured all the guards away.
Okay, so do you reckon we can like get out through here, or should we just try and climb a tree and get the fuck out that way?
To be like uncomfortably honest, whatever way you went, I would be following.
Yeah, I think we should go up a tree and go down that way.
So the fence is not huge. It's basically just a bunch of like timbers and so forth. It's more decorative than any true anti-bear technology.
Let's just power through that.
Do it.
Can we see if anyone is on the other side of the fence?
Once you get closer, you'll be able to see.
Alright, so I guess
Alright.
we should go and just see if like go between like these trees here and see if we can there's anyone on the other side.
Okay, so you guys make your way out this way and basically leg it over to between these two trees. And on the far side, you see forest.
Okay.
Off to the right, you see sort of the last couple of the lawn chairs are still sort of laid out in that area there. There's a couple of tipped over teacups, but none of the old ladies are still there. It would only take you a small amount of effort to sort of climb back over. It would just be a basic bear roll to climb over this fence and leg it to freedom.
Okay, but what about Percival?
What about Percival?
What about Percival?
Well, he sacrificed himself for us. Are we just gonna leave him?
Honestly, my dear, I think I knew that. I think he knew what he was getting himself into. I think he knew that it would be you and I that would find our way to happiness together in the Watanabe.
Yeah, sure, but you know, I think like this.
You don't really want to wind up into what now with Dr. Heavens.
So like, yeah, you're a doctor, but like, I'm a sun bear, and you're a panda.
It'd never work.
Yeah, it would never
What
work.
would our parents think?
Yeah, my parents are dead, but
You sort of hear this sort of sound of like, and just behind you, between the two of you, is just this voice is like, I don't believe that race should ever be a consideration for any of the people of this land.
can I understand this voice?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, yes.
So
What?
it's another bear.
Sorry? What? You turn around and you
What?
sort of see the upper torso of a similar image of the person that you saw in the picture in front of these two hives.
What? No.
I fought a war that nearly that nearly destroyed our country, so that people of different races could live harmoniously together.
I swear
Lincoln's
to God.
ghost.
I swear to God, I've wanted to say this my entire life. Ghost of Lincoln!
Oh dear. Okay.
What wise words do you have to offer us bears?
That's about it. That's all I got.
That's fair. It was kind of a weird pull to begin with.
I was trying to work on a way of getting the ghost of Lincoln in there, and you started sort of doing the whole thing. It was like, I'm a sun bear, you're a panda, it could never work. I'm like, well, there we go. This is on a fucking platter.
No, Brenda. It's my people have had it too good for too long. You must get away. Quick, take my hive and be gone.
What do you
If
wanna do?
if we get away, we will meet you in the Watanabe.
Or
The cave.
the cave.
I mean, I guess that's just what I call the cave. Really, he's a really pretentious fuck.
What are you gonna do? Why are you staying there?
Like, real talk.
Yeah.
Because I can't bear over the fence. I've got like shit or bear left.
Okay.
This is me like meta game of the shit out of this. Like, yeah.
Okay. I can totally do that. I can take the hives and go back to the cave.
Roll me bear for climbing and running.
Is it 1?
Yes, please.
Oh dear.
I got a 6. Okay.
Okay, you start to climb over. You got like a hive under each one, and you're like climbing up. You're trying to reach to get purchase with your left claw as you're going up, and one of the hives just like you lose the grip and it just like drops like 10 feet or so, and just like shatters into small. And the half spectral form of Lincoln is like
Now becomes quarter spectral.
and
Lincoln's really invested in our
fades.
adventures.
and like fades slightly. Well, probably about roughly half of what he was before.
So now he's quarter spectral.
Yes.
Lincoln was haunting the hive. I mean,
This
like,
is a rich fiction you've
But you
created,
do
right?
make it-
for a game about criminal bears, that shit's real weird.
You make it the rest of the way over with the one hive
Am
remaining.
Do I go more bear?
You got more bear.
You got more bear. And then start like making your way through the forest. What is your sacrifice and what are you doing?
I am on that, just straight up stomping my way back to Percival. Like, just fucking, I am like walking over there, saying out loud to camera, Lincoln has taught me that if we're going to get out of this, we're going to do it together.
I imagine when you get there, like, Percival is, like, hanging off the neck, like, got his jaws around the neck of one of the guards, and is flailing his claws at one of the other ones. Just, like, full, like, flail in all directions.
Sure. Roll
Yep.
carnage on that one then.
That's a bear thing, right?
Yeah.
No. No.
So you imagine that that Percival will be doing something like that. That's not the reality of the situation. The reality of the situation is you've clawed like one or two of them. The other two are basically like one's managed to sort of slip one of those slip leash things on the pole
Yep.
around your neck, and you're sort of like pulling against it. The other one is like trying to sort of like pin down your back. Meanwhile, Dr. Panda,
Rocks up to that scene, like, full of, like, piss and vinegar. Like, with Lincoln's, with fucking Ghost Lincoln's backing. Like, surely this was gonna be, like, a real goddamn epic adventure. Shows up to that scene like, honestly, I thought it would be more dignified than this.
But yeah, you basically come around to the corner. You've got you can see the two guards wrestling the honey badger. They both sort of got their hands full on this one, so you kind of had run of the scene.
All right. All right. All right. Swinging for the fences. Lincoln has inspired me. Swinging for the fences. He like turns away, like rears up, turns away quickly, runs his claws through his face, like pulling like the fur out, fluffing it out as much as possible of his
Specifically,
face.
like the dark fur and the.
Yeah, yep. Like the dark patch around his chin, like pulling that out as much as possible, and like the dark patch on his head, like puffing that up as much as possible, and then turns back to the zookeepers and says, "Release him
Stack the
in
two hats
Lincoln's
up like
name.
Lincoln's-
Release him."
Stack the two hats you've got, one on top of the other, to make it look like as much as you can like Lincoln's hat.
Stack the hats up and just like comb the hair up around the hats. In my name, Lincoln. 20 years. Release him.
Not only are you a panda pretending to be a human, you are a panda pretending to specifically be Abraham Lincoln. The Great Emancipator. I love it. I love it.
All right.
I got this.
The Great Emancipator. Ordering them to release him. As you do.
If you get up to 6 criminal, does it end there immediately, or
Essentially, you're as far as it goes for a play character. Sort of like gone. But this was also at the end of the.
can I get a little bit? Okay. Flashback.
Okay. to 1 minute ago when he was talking to Lincoln.
Flashback to 1 minute ago when he's talking to Lincoln.
Oh Jesus.
You gonna make me roleplay Lincoln again? Because I don't think I've got it in me.
I got it.
just it can't be done. There are just so many opposing forces, and although we are, I believe, righteous, we are just outnumbered. My boy. In my time, it turns out, by the way, Lincoln is actually JFK. You don't know he wasn't. Historically, you have no way to know that Lincoln wasn't actually JFK. My boy.
Historically, he actually had a high-pitched voice. Lincoln.
My boy. Nah, it's not gonna work.
JFK by way of Mayor Quimby.
My boy. In my time, I also fought a war with a larger and better armed
You're
foe.
heading into Teddy
Yeah,
Roosevelt
look, this
very
is what
rapidly.
I got, all right?
Bully!
It's this or
Teddy
like...
Bear!
It's nothing. Okay. My boy, in my time, I faced a larger group of foes, and though we were righteous, we were also outnumbered, and we dug deep, knowing that we were true. We fought them, and we won. Because I am Abraham fucking Lincoln.
Kennedy.
Oh my god.
And knowing that, having been buoyed by the sense of Lincoln, he charges in and just is Lincoln. Just like what he took away from that wasn't that righteousness will win out. It's just like, if you ever have a problem, be Lincoln. Just be Lincoln, I guess.
Just be that.
Just be Lincoln, yeah. So like, beard out, hat up, and he is like, I am the ghost of Lincoln. Let my people go.
That's Moses.
That's Moses.
He's a fucking bear, okay?
He's a bear that the university professor and is now
he ate a
cosplaying as
sociologist and
Lincoln.
an archaeologist and came away with like JFK, Lincoln, and Moses. Like ultimately, he's doing real
And a
good.
little bit of Churchill
and,
at that point there.
and a little bit of the Simpsons.
This is our darkest hour.
Well, fight them on the beaches. Oh no, I'm going the wrong way. I'm going fucking Nixon. Holy shit.
I am not a bear.
Oh, we've gone too long on this, and oh boy, my brain is tired and it's not working well.
The wheels have fallen off, and we've attached him to a bear
Nick's
pretend that it's a Ferrari with Abraham Lincoln driving it.
Nick's Church Lincoln FK is going to roll a fucking dice to see what ultimately goddamn happens with this fuck-ass adventure. I need to basically get anything.
Yeah, it's a criminal, right?
Okay. You charge in.
I swear to God, paint me a picture of how this fucking works.
You charge in to this fight, and you sort of roar loudly. The bits of black fur that you've teased up into his chin strap beard is sort of like flailing in the breeze. Of your speedy approach. You are a panda after all. They're not the fastest. Next to you, the spirit of Lincoln sort of apparates next to you and is just like coming, basically charging alongside of you, and then like you sort of almost see like the shades or apparitions of elements of the Union Army behind Lincoln, charging alongside of them as well. And this whole the force of bear and presidential hero and righteous army, just
Fucking ghost trumpets.
Right now, this amazing scene of spiritual transcendence and Lord of the Rings-esque climax against two guards
holding down a honey
wrangling
badger.
a rabid honey badger.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
This is what I came here for.
Yeah, so you basically bodily slam into the first of the guards, holding him, slamming him into the second, sending them sort of tumbling over the top of each other, breaking their grip on the restraint leash that they had around your neck. It's still around your neck, but they're not hanging on to it anymore. and you are sort of caught up in the flow of
Ghosts.
Lincoln, Panda on Lincoln on Lincoln on Union,
Cool. Cool.
and this whole force sort of pushes you to the fence. The ghost army sort of just goes through the fence, leaving a rather proud of himself Panda on this side of the fence. The fence was never designed to keep honey badgers out. You can just sort of scurry underneath it. There is nothing about this is even a hindrance to you. You might have to do a little bit of climbing to get out, but at this point, you don't even have to try. Like, it's just, you are so full of, well, yourself.
You were so
Free
full
at
of-
last.
well,
That you sort
Free
of,
at last.
you
That's
climb.
that's Martin Luther King.
Anyone else? You got
do
nothing.
you
have
take
you?
requests?
That may actually literally be all I have of American and also biblical history.
I need you to do the
Read my lips.
the announcement of the Pearl Harbor attack.
Oh shit! That was it. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, but anyway, so you clamber up over the top of the fence, and sort of just drop down the other side, and sort of drop down next to Honey Badger Companion, and make a hasty retreat back to the cave, where you are met by Brenda and the remaining of the log cabin beehives. With
Proclamation
a
98, bitches!
somewhat semi-successful heist under your wing.
If I
You-
may, once he gets back there, Percival takes his fez off, and inside his fez, he's got one jar of the honey from earlier
Yep.
that he smuggled away in there. Cracks that open. Joe. Cheers.
Give me some
You
of
still got your
that.
backpack as well, so you got some bits and samples in your backpack.
Give me some of that honey.
All passed round a jar and like fade out on a
And a cheers.
Breakfast Club esque fist in the air cheers.
Don't you
Forget about me.
And with that, guys, we'll call that a honey heist.
What the fuck even
Yes,
was that?
that was great.
Oh, fucking hell. And to show you, that all came from half a dozen or so dice rolls on the DM sheet.
Oh, you rolled dice too?
Yep, to work out what the scenario is.
Okay.
Because I got a separate sheet for the DM.
Wow. Okay.
I got that game, that 4 hours from that.
Yeah, and you did. You totally did. But little do the bears know, they've been set up.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's so cool.
And that was our game of the one-shot Honey Heist. If you can't bear to be without us anymore, you can subscribe to our regular D&D games through iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or on YouTube. You can contact us via email at Isolated City Gaming. You can also follow us on Instagram at Isolated City Gaming. Anyway, catch you out there.